around the world. It's the N-Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and just ahead, we're going to talk with Brad Thompson from God's Garage about the Zeekin donation and other holiday car donations. Plus, we'll have the upcoming events calendar. Mr. Mars reviews the new Ford F-350 Dually Bigaboy. And I want to say howdy and a Merry Christmas to you, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zeekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining on this Saturday. How's your Christmas shopping going? Oh my God, it has been nuts. Mm-hmm. Traffic, terrible.
You know, and that's from the traffic guy.
Mm-hmm. I went with Leslie 2 days ago. We did a little afternoon Christmas shopping. It kind of parlayed into afternoon drive. Didn't get on the freeway because we were already out here, and went to a shopping center. Oh, I don't know, probably from this house at the most 3 or 4 miles. Mm. I've never been there, actually. I went to eat at one of the restaurants there one time on a Saturday afternoon. Mm-hmm. No big deal. But it wasn't Christmas shopping season.
Whatever, yeah.
There's a Costco in this complex of stuff. Mm-hmm. Ugly, nasty traffic. People were honking, and then one person would honk, and then somebody else would honk, and then they all started honking together. It was beautiful. It was a symphony.
It's kind of like geese flying north. They all get in a row and honk at each other.
Pretty much. It was lots of fun. I have to tell you, we talked about this in our preview a few minutes ago. I have got more recalls that I think that I have ever had on this show.
Than you can recall?
That I can recall.
Yeah.
Yep. It's truly amazing. So if your car isn't in it, you're one of the few. And it will be.
Well, with the recalls, we could call it the Prevagen segment.
Oh.
Recalling all of them.
Thank you, Jeff.
Maybe we could get them to sponsor that segment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe so.
Oh, good idea.
Mm-hmm. Can you remember?
Forget about it.
What? Remember what?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Remember? I don't
Sponsored by Prevagen, I think.
So we still don't have Brad?
Or Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah.
Mr. Mars, we don't have Brad?
No. I'm wondering where he's at.
Well, he's probably in bed, would be my guess. After a wild night of partying that he does.
Brad does that party.
We've heard this. Yeah, we've heard these rumors about Brad before. All right. Well, speaking of recalls, I'm going to sprinkle these throughout the show today because I've got so many. American Honda Motor Company is recalling more than 2.5 million Honda and Acura vehicles in the U.S. for a fuel pump defect that could cause the engine to stall while driving. The cars involved were built between 2017 and 2020. Honda said the fuel pump impeller in those vehicles was improperly molded, according to a recall report submitted Monday to NHTSA. Earlier this week, Honda recalled more than 100,000 CR-V hybrid vehicles from 20 to 22 model years because of a missing fuse in the 12-volt battery cable that could cause the battery to overheat, increasing the risk of a fire or injury.
See, they should have made them in Texas, because anything gets a little wet in Texas and you leave it outside, it all gets moldy.
Exactly.
Humidity, yeah.
Hardy har har. Mm-hmm. I got it. Nobody else did.
Nobody else cared.
Toyota Motor North America on Wednesday said it was recalling about 1.1 million Toyota and Lexus models globally for malfunctioning sensors that could prevent airbags from deploying in a crash. So the airbag
means the Takata can't kill you.
Yeah, well, that's true. There's so many issues with the airbags. Airbags have been around forever, it seems.
87-ish.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, in the past 3-4 years, it's become a nightmare for manufacturers, Takata mainly. Mm-hmm. So there are so many different models. I mean, mainly 20 to 22 models of everything. Just name it. So the best thing I can suggest, instead of me boring you with all the different models, is go to safercar.gov.
Look it up.
And plug in your VIN number. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't have that. Yeah, you do.
It's on your insurance card.
It's on your insurance card. Or You can go and find it right there in the top of your dashboard.
Or if you open up the driver's door, there's usually a couple of placards on
or
there.
memorize it.
Remember.
To fix the defect, dealers will inspect the sensors and replace them as necessary.
Well, that's unusual, Toyota and Honda, with those big recalls, because, you know, they build a pretty high quality
And you know, it
car.
used to be when you hear of a recall, you think, oh, man, that's bad. Now, I could weigh them. They're so heavy with the paper this morning. BMW, 2023 models. Ready? The Series 3, 4, 5, 8, and the Series X, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the Z4, and the Toyota Supra, all model years 2023. Transmission gears may seize.
That's not good.
Ooh.
Honey, did you put the brakes on that hard? No. Transmission's all locked up.
Get out and push.
Even Lamborghini can't avoid
No.
this. 2015 to 2024, incorrectly adjusted headlights. That's a recall.
Oh, my.
Get out there with the screwdriver and do it yourself.
Yep.
Make sure you point them right up into the rearview mirror of the car, because that's all I get these days. Volvo, second row seatbelt buckle not tightened properly. So for the Volvo XC90 2015 through
The safest cars on the road.
2015 through 2024. You'd have thought they'd have caught that by now, don't you? Side,
Believe me, they don't.
No, they didn't catch it because it doesn't work.
it doesn't work.
It doesn't catch.
Side curtain airbags may deploy unexpectedly on the Kia Motor Soul and Seltos 23 and 24.
Well, that'll widen your eyes if all of a sudden they pop out.
Yeah, most definitely. Improperly secured 12-volt ground connection on
Chevy
the
truck.
Mercedes-Benz
Oh.
GLE 350 and 450 for 21 and 22 model years.
Try finding that. Try
Yeah,
tracking
really.
that electrical problem down.
Ford generated the most U.S. recalls of any other manufacturer.
Well, and when you build the most vehicles, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's a percentage.
Yeah.
Well, the most vehicles in the United States, anyway. Through December 18th, Ford issued 54 recalls, affecting nearly 5.7 million vehicles in the U.S. this year. However, that's down about 21% from the number of recalls issued in 2022,
They're getting better.
when the automaker reported 68 recalls affecting more than 8.7 million vehicles.
You know, and the funny thing is, with that, probably less than half of them ever get fixed.
Yeah.
Get done.
Yep.
For an assortment of reasons. And I know we need to get some state legislator on to talk about that, because I know there's been conversations in the state of Texas about every used car operator needs to run a recall scan of the vehicle that they get in, and they can't sell the vehicle unless the recall's done. And for some reason, somebody out there doesn't want to do that, so it never passes the state legislature. But it makes sense. And to me, it would make sense as a used car operator to get those things done for the people that you're selling vehicles to, even if you needed to
It's a selling
advertise the
point.
fact. Yeah.
Well,
It's a
it's
selling
a
point.
selling point, but I can also see where they'd be scared that's a liability.
Well, you'd think so.
Well, the
because-
liability is not doing it and
Well,
having had
yeah,
it
but
in
if
your
you don't
possession.
if you don't know it's broke, then you may not be able to
Broken,
be
yes.
held liable
true.
to fix
It
it.
should be considered to work towards a peace of mind that it
Right.
doesn't.
Well, I agree. I mean, it would be a positive selling point, I would think, and for the public safety, it absolutely should happen. I just think that's the fight.
It's a feature and a benefit.
And again, it comes down to some recalls are safety recalls, some recalls are compliance recalls. You know, the difference is some can kill you, some just they didn't follow the rules, and that's the compliance recall.
Of the U.S. recalls Ford issued this year through December 18th, the largest involved a callback of nearly 1.3 million older model Fusion
Oh, boy.
and Lincoln MKZ vehicles for rupturing front brake hoses. I remember reading about that to everybody.
She took that in for a recall.
There you go. While Ford topped the chart with total number of recalls issued in 2023, Tesla issued the largest vehicle recall of the year.
All of them.
investigation into the electric vehicle maker's autopilot driver assist system software recall in more than 2 million Tesla vehicles.
Yeah, well, we talked about that with you last night, that it's a download feature. It doesn't have to be brought into the service center.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, my buddy that I work with that has a Tesla, he said, yeah, I've gotten 3 updates, because it tells you that it's gotten them over the past, I don't know, 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Wow.
Lots of them.
And some of that is they're downloading a repair into the vehicle. Some of it may be they're extracting data from the vehicle as well. You know, that's a bidirectional communication. Tesla has access to those vehicles, so they can quiz the car as far as what's going on, besides just jumping in and making a software update.
And this guy that owns this one, he says, I rarely use it. He goes to San Antonio to visit his family quite frequently, and he will use it every once in a while once he gets out on I-10.
The auto drive feature?
Yeah, autopilot, I think they call it. At any rate, well, let's jump into our guest this hour, because...
Speaking of autopilot?
Yeah, because he was on Auto Snooze Pilot this morning, apparently.
Well, he was saying that Stan Leon's got an internet problem. That was what his story
That was the excuse.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because
his
he's out there.
story.
Yeah.
San Leon.
Yeah, I think he's about moved out there, haven't you, Brad?
Pretty close, yeah. We're getting pretty close.
Good for you.
Well, that's a good excuse, and we'll go ahead and accept it this time. But okay, fine. Hey, do you know our friend Tim Spell?
I do not.
Tim Spell was a writer for the Houston Chronicle for decades, auto writer, and you guys need to get you'd love Tim and his wife. They live down there.
Oh, neat. Yeah, well, it can't be too far away.
No, exactly, that's exactly right.
Yeah, San Leon isn't that big.
The thriving metropolis down there. Well, Brad, Merry Christmas to you. It's good to see you.
Yeah, to you guys too. Sorry about the tardiness here.
It's all right.
You know,
So.
I'll take my beating later.
So, Brad, if you're not familiar with Brad and God's Garage, why don't you explain it, because you can explain it better than I can. What is God's Garage, and what does God's Garage do?
So God's Garage is a 501c3 nonprofit. We're up in Conroe. We take in donated vehicles, whether they run or not. We get them as roadworthy as possible. We have them inspected by an individual third-party inspector. And then we give them away to single moms, widows, and wives of deployed military. We also fix vehicles for that same group. If they have their own vehicle that has an issue, they can apply online at godsgarage.org. Or if you have a vehicle to donate, you can do the same thing as Mr. Zeke and his wife did. And we will come get your vehicle. You can schedule it right there online. And then... if you want, and your vehicle is salvageable and repairable, and well, not salvageable, that's a different track. But if it's repairable and can be roadworthy and safe, we'll actually ask you to come be part of the giveaway if we get to that point.
So, how long has God's Garage been around?
We have been doing this since 2010. We've been a formal 501c3 since 2016. We have, over the last several years, really tried to up our kind of credibility to the kind of the layman who's looking for a good organization to support. We're Gold Star. Well, they don't call it that now. There's several different certifications, but we have the top level, the platinum certification
Very
for
good.
financial responsibility and stewardship. So yeah, it's a awesome organization. I'm the board chairman. I'm a volunteer. All of our board members are volunteers. I'll pass the torch at sometime soon, maybe, to not be the board chair anymore. Justin Coggins is our executive director, doing a great job, and we just have a massive amount of participation. I think last year we had over 125 different volunteers. And we have up in Conroe, we have a 6-bay garage, I guess 7 technically, if you count our wash bay.
Which is new.
Which is brand new. We moved into it not even a year ago, actually. We moved into it in late January of this year, of 2023. And still going through the growing pains of figuring out how to manage a 6-bay garage, because it's a lot easier to manage 2 bays because you don't really have any choices, right? So once you get 6 of them, it becomes a whole different challenge. We've got a ton of vehicles on site right now. Jeff's wife's car is actually awaiting a transplant. You guys were right, Jeff. Cylinder 1, 0 psi. So you had that right. You had a cylinder that's down. I don't think they've actually checked to see if it burned a hole in the piston or what actually happened to inside the cylinder, but we know we checked all of that.
Very good.
So what's the next step? Then you're going to transplant. You're going to find a used engine, I assume, somewhere, and put it in the car because you feel that the car is nice enough that it's worthy of engine transplant.
Yeah, so I mean, it was 2013 Fusion in great shape. I actually had a 2013 Fusion. Really liked that car, but is in awesome shape. And when I say awesome shape, I'm talking about just the livability of the vehicle. But we're hopefully we can take in another 2013 that has some life left on the engine and do a straight swap. If not, we'll end up doing. Possibly, depends on the degree of difficulty, but sometimes we go to the auction and we find a 2013 that's trashed, maybe been in a wreck, but the engine's still good.
Right, you'd mentioned that.
And we'll buy that car, and then we'll turn around and swap out the engine, and then we'll take that car back to the auction and
scrap it.
The auction, yeah, the auction's nice enough that they don't charge us auction fees when we sell, so that's a big deal for us. There's no real cost to do that, and one of their record drivers actually does a lot of stuff for us just on his own dime and own nickel. So he'll run it back and forth for us. They're only 5 miles away from the garage. I think it's called America's Auto Auction up there on 3083 up in Conroe. But yeah, it's really close.
She's taking care of that car. That car's never been to a car wash. The car's always been hand washed and hand vacuumed and
it
everything.
shows.
Yeah.
It shows. We hate to see cars like that come in where they've got catastrophic engine problems and we can't just easily flip it. We don't hate to see them come in like that. We hate them that they're in such good shape that we can't just turn around and give them away. But man, that's one worth putting on the transplant list for sure.
Well, she'll be pleased.
How do you determine the value of the car that you can tell the owner so they can get the tax rewards? It's not quite as easy as just how do you do it. I mean, the owner can claim the vehicle's worth by going on to any of the regular sites and saying, this is my vehicle and we don't actually tell them what that value is. We let them determine that between themselves and their tax consultant.
Their conscience.
Right. Yeah.
We give them a certificate that says they donated it to us for free. Which puts the onus of determining the value on them.
I'm thinking like it's $12 billion.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. God's Garage is a faith-based organization, isn't it?
It sure is, absolutely. I mean, the word God is first in our name, and it's first in everything we do. If you are a faith-based person and you want to know, we had 65 women last year. To date, I guess it was about a month ago, 65 women accepted Christ into their lives. It makes a massive difference. We've talked about this on your show before, but we actually have a seminar they go through that we call Restore You. We do it on site now with our new building, and we take them through all kinds of things, including personal finances. They go through a bunch of different training classes, all within a day. But one of the things we try to do for sure is connect them with somebody that can kind of help them through this phase in their life. Because we realize there are a lot of people that may not actually ever come out of the situation they're in, but most of the women that by the time they get through our vetting process and we've talked to them, most of those women are really trying to get out of that place they're in. And we know that reliable transportation, especially in Houston, Texas, is the major factor to help them become more capable to go get a job, keep a job, get their kids to school, grocery store. So, yeah, Jeff.
Well, Brett, you've got the women going through the program, and they've accepted Christ in their life, and they're going through the program to benefit from that. Do they also sometimes become mentors for the next group coming in?
Yeah, we've had a few of them. We actually, it's kind of funny. You would normally think, they're gonna help mentor. We've had a couple of them go in the shop and work on cars.
Oh, cool!
Because they actually have that skill set, which has been really neat. But yeah, I mean, I think it takes some time. We did the Texas Bucket List. We were on that show. If you've seen that show,
Sure.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
and we had a lady on there that had come through the program years ago, and she's still doing wonderfully. She works for an insurance agency. She has a great job, and it still moves her to talk about that time in her life. And she did a really nice job of helping out some of the other women that were coming through at that phase. But the biggest thing they learn isn't so much that you've got somebody there that's been there and done that. It's that they look around the room and they say, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Because that's the factors that they feel. A lot of them feel a sense of failure, and they've gotten themselves in this situation. And then they look around the room and there's a whole bunch of women in there that just are in the same place they're in. So we just basically love on them. We do what we can to connect them to other folks that'll be part of their family, and of course they become part of our family at the same
And it's a
time.
local organization. It's godsgarage.org. Brad, it's always great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you,
today.
Brad.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
You're always
starting to
good.
develop a pattern, aren't I? But
Yeah, well,
Well, we've got links on our social media to your webpage as well.
thanks. Well, the house is about done down here in San Leon, so
we'll be down there to celebrate.
Yeah.
see you
Christen
guys
it.
soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
And hey, Merry Christmas and God bless you and take care.
Thank you. Merry
Thanks,
Christmas. God bless you guys too.
Thank you. All right, time now for the events calendar. Conrad, I know that you've got that right there on the top of your stack of things to talk about.
So Saturday, January 20th, Rudy's Tomball presents Fire Up Car and Truck Show, and that's at the Rudy's Barbecue on Highway 249 just south of Tomball. Stephanie Nichols' 13th Annual Car and Plane Show at the Georgetown Airport.
Oh,
That'd be
cool.
kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
Houston Cars and Cocktails New Year's Eve Party at,
boy.
at
There
Little
you go. There you
Woodrow's
go.
in Tomball.
Yeah. Line up the Ubers.
Yeah, really. The 11th Annual Rouse Rock and Rides at the Gupton Stadium. That's March 2nd
Say, where is that?
in Gupton.
In Gupton.
You left
It's at the
out a
stadium.
couple of consonants in that word there.
Yeah, well, Gupton could be this, whatever. Go ahead.
And then Saturday, April 11th, CCA Honda Acura at the Conclave at the Colleen's Special Event Center. So it's kind of just a Honda and Acura show. January 14th, Savage Sunday Exotic Car Show in the Heights at the Heights Social in Houston. And then finally, Classic and Coffee Cars meet at the Hunger Crush Cafe here in Houston on March 2nd.
All right.
Cool.
Mr. Mars has a review of the Ford F-350 Dually. You have 4 minutes, and the clock is running. Go.
TikTok.
The 2023 model Ford F-350 Limited Crew Cab with four-wheel drive represents, this is the beginning of the fourth gen of the Super Duties that coming out of Ford. You can get this particular truck in 6 trim levels, XL, XLT, Lariat, King Ranch, Platinum, Limited. All of 5, other than the XL, they all come with four-wheel drive. It's a big truck. We had the Limited, obviously, so this is a full-size crew cab, dual rear-wheel drive. Carries 5 passengers very nicely. Up front, you're going to find that it's got a new revised grille, and what it does, because it's the dual rear-wheel drive model, has more airflow coming through it. It's what needs a little more juice because it needs for the towing that it's going to do. It's got heated tow mirrors that extend out from the side. You can extend them out whenever you're carrying a big load. LED lighting all around. It's got power deployable running boards. They're quick. You walk up to it, and they're out before you actually get there and need to step on them. Got a 2-panel sunroof on the inside of it, which basically opens up the whole inside of the cab. We had the sliding bed cover. We had a bed step on the side of the bed. We had a corner step on the bumper. We had a powered tailgate, a tailgate step. We got all kinds of things on this vehicle. And on the inside, this is where I really was surprised to find, it has got a 2-tone leather interior seating because this is the limited edition. The front seats are heated and ventilated. The rear seat is a fold-up, but the outboard seats are actually heated. And underneath it, there's this really nice storage. And it has a flat floor in that rear seating area. And there's a nice storage rack there, but it folds back so that if you wanted to, you could open up that whole thing, and you could actually put a bed back there, I
You
think.
get sleep back there underneath
Exactly.
the seat.
Now, up front, you're going to find a 12-inch digital instrument cluster, so it's got all your readout there for the driver. Got a heads-up display to go along with that. Got a 12-inch touchscreen in the middle of it. You're going to find all your nav, your convenience controls, the 360-degree camera there, your Ford Sync 4, and your controls for your 18-speaker Bang & Olufsen audio system.
I'm ready for the price.
Now, up under the hood to make this thing go, you have a couple of options. We had the 6.7 Power Stroke. Now, as a note, that you can get this in two different versions. The standard is 475 horsepower with 1,050 pound-feet of torque. Or you can get the high output Power Stroke 6.7 that has 500 horsepower, 1,200 pound-feet of torque.
Oh, my God.
I went through the spec sheets. I could find no difference, bore, stroke, timing, to where they came up with that
It's
other
magic.
25 sub-tuner.
Boost and fuel.
Yeah,
Pixie
computers did that. Now, it's backed with a 10-speed transmission. This vehicle is rated with a gooseneck, properly equipped, the vehicle, 35,000 pounds that you can tow. Now, you can put 8,000 pounds in the bed of this thing. Now, they've done a lot of things. Let me tell you this, though. Bumper, which amazed me, 28,200 you can tow off of the bumper. It's ridiculous. It's a it's a 1-ton type vehicle, so they don't really give you an EPA rating, but I will tell you, across the 177.8 careful miles that I drove this vehicle, I got 13.2 miles per gallon.
Actually, that's
How
not
many
too bad.
times did you curb it because it was so wide?
The guy that delivered it curbed it, and I didn't have to. One of the great things about this thing, I really found, because they've done a lot of things. I printed out a whole sheet here that goes along with this truck to help you because of the size of this vehicle. It has an onboard scaler, so if you start putting weight in the bed, it can tell you how much weight you got in there, so you know how much more you can put in there, so you don't overload it. It's got you can put in the computer the size and the weight of the trailer, and it'll compute the load balance after you've got it all hooked up and make sure you've got a balanced load on this thing before you even leave.
That's pretty high tech.
It's got some serious tech on it. And when you get out on the road power-wise, I mean, it's a diesel, and it's a Power Stroke, and it's smooth, and the 10-speed transmission shifts just slick as butter. And you going down the road, you're king of the road. You really feel like you are, and he's got a great field of view on the way this thing is laid out.
Get out of the way because it's wide.
It is. And all the controls are within reach. You got a lot of auxiliary switches that you can use for upfitting. It's really, this truck is made to do what this truck is doing. Now, I will tell you, the base model Super Duty XL starts at $50,710. Starts. Now, the base trim price for this particular vehicle, best I could calculate and find on the Ford site, is $99,165.
Oh, of course it is.
To start with.
Pre-production, so I did not have a Monroney to nail down an exact price.
Guessing it would be.
I would say around 111, 112. You know, it's a little bit cheaper than the Raptor, but I mean, and that's just a wild
cheaper.
guess.
Yeah.
If you're going to compare it to something, you might look at the 23 GMC Denali 3500, which I found started at 91.7, and then the 2023 Ram Limited 3500. Again, big trucks, dually, starts at 91,000. So they're all, when you get up into that category of heavy-duty truck, do you want to do some serious towing? You got to figure you're going to spend 90 plus.
This program is available 24/7 on iHeartRadio. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. 30-minute podcasts are on your favorite podcast provider. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that help make Lupe Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupe Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupe Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupe's. It's located just off I-10 of the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupe Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupe Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants invite you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere.
Streamed, not grounded, and downloaded around the globe.
Yeah.
It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, we play Guess the Price from Hemmings Sold Cars Roundup.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Saturday Night Live's Jeopardy.
So we're calculating the whole year's worth of
I want to be
Hemmings.
Burt Reynolds.
I'll be Sean Connery.
Take the trophy for having the most wins of this. Thank you very much.
Jeff has a special feature that you're going to love. We'll also get you caught up on stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy, along with Mike out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Christmas edition of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. It's always glad to have you with us on this Saturday morning on our live broadcast. If you're listening on streaming product podcast, well, Happy New Year, or whenever you listen or join us. We got lots of them. As a matter of fact, Mr. Mars pulled some interesting information this week that he sent to all of us.
Yeah.
And that was, what was the name of the, was it not Snapchat?
Spotify and Buzzsprout.
Yeah, Buzzsprout, yeah.
Yeah, that's our host.
Yeah, and
podcast.
We're global. We're nationwide. We're beyond nationwide.
73 countries.
73 countries around the globe.
75 countries.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
75?
Oh.
Anyway.
We just added two.
We're just kind of bragging.
Yeah.
But bear with us.
We don't get to do that very often.
No, we don't. We don't. And so I thought there was some very interesting numbers there. Why don't you share with us?
Brag on us, Mike.
Well, according to Buzzsprout, again, that's our host, and that's why we get to Apple and Amazon and Spotify. They're a distribution for us. That's part of our distribution network. And so, according to the information that they've got, the feedback they've got from everyone, we're in the top 50% of podcasts, all podcasts, not just automotive, but all podcasts. 75 countries, 31,500 downloads so far this year.
Which is good because we just started doing that.
Thank you very much to all.
Yes.
And to all a good night.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's been a very good year for us and how that works. The most popular city, of course, is Houston. That's where most of our listeners are because we've been here for 12 years.
And we do a lot of remotes here locally and connect with a lot of the
part of the community.
Car folks here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the second best country that we have is in Canada. Then it's Australia, and Germany and Mexico. That's the top 5, including the United States. So we kind of get around. I thought it was interesting that Stevens Point, Wisconsin, is the fourth largest
City.
group of listeners that we have is in Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
Don's relatives.
All of my
That's what I
relatives,
thought.
they've all moved to Stevens Point. Interesting. All right. So we play this little game once a week, as a rule, when we have time. We get it from Hemmings.com. And once a week, they tell us all of the cars that have sold through their online auction site called Sold Cars Roundup. Mm-hmm. And people put their cars on there. I don't know how much it costs to post your car and go through the whole thing, but it's a bidding site, basically, that you control.
Kind of their own version of eBay Motors.
Yeah. So I have a couple right off the top of the bat here that we're going to talk to Jeff about mainly.
Okay.
Must be Cadillacs.
Oh, of course, because he's the big Cadillac.
Yeah.
So the first one up is, and we're going to do these together. And you'll see the reason why in a minute.
Jeff Broham.
Jeff Broham,
Zekin.
1983 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Mm-hmm. Now, I have to tell you, I think it was about 1990-ish that I bought a brand new Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
You did?
Well, not for me personally, but for the wife. And
Which one
and
was
I
that?
yeah,
The coupe.
No, let's not even
But the
go
Coupe
there.
de Ville.
I didn't go there.
I know he did. So you shut up.
I was just
You shut up. Anyway,
You all shut up.
1983 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. This was the big two-door.
But the coupe was the low end of the models.
It was the
Coupe-
two-door
Coupe de
version.
Ville, yeah.
Two-door.
The Coupe de Ville, right.
Yeah. So 1983 Coupe de Ville. We're going to pair that with a 1991 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz.
Oh, the Biarritz. Those are awesome vehicles.
So that also is a two-door. Mm-hmm. It's a lot sportier, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But the 83 is a rear drive. The Eldorado, by that time, was a front-wheel
Front-wheel.
drive.
Correct. If that makes a difference to you, I don't think most people really care whether one way or the other, but whatever. So let's start with the 83 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Mr. Mars, what do you think that would go for on the used car roundup?
by it being Hemmings. I'm going to say it's in good shape, so I'm going to go for 12.5.
12.5,
8,500.
85, and you?
I'll go 14.
14. Okay. Now let's move on to the 91 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz.
Okay, so we're not going to get an
Just
answer.
yeah, no, we said we're going to do them together.
You weren't listening.
He
again.
wasn't. Yeah.
I said we're going to pair these two, and you'll see
It's
why in a
nothing
minute.
new.
First of all, they are Cadillacs, okay? And second of all, they're Cadillacs. You'll see.
Exactly.
So what do you think, Mr. Mars, the 91 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz would go for?
I'll say 10.
10. Conrad?
7.
7. Jeffrey?
12.
12. Both cars sold for, drum roll, $6,600.
Both cars.
piece?
No, both
No,
cars.
for the pair.
For the pair?
No. They both sold for $6,600 each,
Yeah.
which I thought was unusual in the fact that they both sold for the same amount
Yeah,
of money.
wow.
One was an 83 big
Yeah.
Coupe de Ville. The other one was kind of a small 91 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz. The Biarritz was kind of the top of the line, I
Yeah.
believe.
Fancy.
I had an Eldo of that generation, except mine had an Oldsmobile 5.7 diesel in it.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry.
You had,
Yikes.
you know,
Got like 35 miles to a gallon.
Yeah.
You would
if
have a
you can keep
Yugo.
it running.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you-
as long as it was running.
he'd have a
here's
Yugo with it.
Here's a fun one. Ready? 67 Chevrolet C10, what they call a square body.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. 67 Cadillac C10. It looks clean, nothing special about it. Now, granted, I don't know, I didn't dig that deep about rust and mileage and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a clean truck.
Just a
67,
stock looking clean
yeah,
truck.
a dark brown or something.
Long bed, short bed.
It looks like a long bed. 67 Chevy C10. Mars,
And then things are popular. I would say 12.5.
12.5,
15.
15.
Well,
Jeff?
I'll go in the middle, 14.
Okay. Well, you're close. 16,905 is what it sold for. Can you imagine? I really?
It's remarkable how some of those older trucks have not just retained value, have exploded in value.
Steel dashes, no padding.
more than
it
the
just
Cadillac.
is like, are you kidding? It is the basic.
No
They-
cruise control,
Nothing.
probably no power windows.
Nor brakes.
And what I don't understand.
Probably has a straight inline 6 in it. So
That-
Well,
that'd be okay.
even if it's got the 350, I don't understand. You for 16,000, you can't buy it and hot rod it. You know, drop it, the suspension, or chop it, or what the things that hot rodders do because you got too much money in it and it's too nice.
well, then this one, it looks like it's a stock. It even has, it looks like it's got trim rings on the wheels.
So what do you do with it?
I guess drive it.
Drive it.
Hot Rod Tour of Texas.
Just keep it running. You
I
know?
guess.
Be pretty easy to keep running.
Let the patina fall on it. and
Kind of
go.
like that truck that we saw at Autorama this year that still had the plastic on the seats in the car. The truck was 25
Yeah.
years
Over in
old.
front of
yeah,
the
yeah.
bathroom.
Yeah.
That had been undelivered.
Is that what it was?
That's the way I looked at that, because not only did it still have the plastic on the seats, it had all the little consumer tags on it. You know, here's the tag for the radio telling you what to do. There was a tag on the door for the power windows and stuff. That was kind of a cool truck, but
You know who else has cars like that? Daryl Wisniewski. Bayway Group of automobile dealers, and I went to his showroom private showroom of his collection of classic cars and valuable collector cars, and he has one, like not this particular truck, but he's got one, and it was a Ford GT. Still had all the plastic on the seats and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Truly.
And that's probably tripled in value from
Oh, yeah.
165 they originally were.
All right, a 1991, I had to do this. 1991 Mercedes-Benz 250 GD. It's a G-Wagon, basically.
Right up Conrad's lane there.
1991. I've never been a big fan of these, but because of basically the price. So this is a 91, 2001, 2011, 2000. So it's 30 years old. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Almost 35.
91 Mercedes-Benz 250 GD.
30,000.
I was thinking 25.
22.
$73,500.
Come on.
Exactly.
And it's been recalled.
Yes, as all of them have.
It's been driven by a Kardashian.
Here's a car that Chevrolet totally screwed the pooch on when they built this thing. And the only reason being is...
It wasn't the first one.
Well, I know.
Won't be the last one either.
2004 Chevrolet SSR.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
I love the look of it.
$1.
Yeah. But it was so under horsepowered, it's just pathetic.
It was a shame what they did to that. Mm-hmm. You know, because like you say, it was very appealing physically, I thought.
And it was a convertible, a hardtop convertible.
Yeah.
Right, retractable hardtop.
Yeah, and it went down behind the seat. It was very cool. The bed was worthless because it had a solid cover over the top of it.
It only lifted to like 30 degrees, though.
Yeah, it was very-
stupid. I think she needs to go out.
And they also sold as an accessory a storage unit that you could roll in and out of it.
Just so.
I probably had a dozen of them as company cars. I loved them. I thought they were fun. But if you took their clothes off, it's a Chevy Trailblazer SS. The suspension, the drivetrain, the engine, all of that stuff was Chevy Trailblazer SS. So there was a version with the 400 horse V8 in it towards the end, and you could get a 6-speed manual
It was
in it.
too late by then. They'd already ruined it.
Yep.
Oh. Anyway. All right, 2004, what do you think that thing sold for? Mars?
24.
Really? Okay, Conrad?
18.
17.
14.7 was what it sold for. I had to throw this one in there because it caught my attention. The 1932 Chevrolet Confederate.
Oh.
It's a two-door convertible top. It's really cool looking. I'm gonna put my finger over the price so you can't see it, but there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like it's all stock.
Two-seater.
Two-seater. Yeah, two-seater.
I'd never heard
Rumple
of a
seat.
Confederate.
I've
Probably
never
got a
heard.
rumble seat in it, too.
Yeah, it does, probably. Big wide whites on it, wire wheels. I mean, it was fancy for the day.
I think there's one that comes out to Craig's every now and then.
I have not seen
I'll
it.
say
so.
15.
15 bars.
Well, that's what I was going to say, but I'll go up to 17.
All right, Jeff.
Let's just go.
How about 28? 875.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. I was going to think maybe.
Yeah,
closer
I
to
kind of
20.
figured
Yeah.
you guys are going to think low on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's one for all of us. The 1966 Pontiac GTO looks really clean, red in color. Looks like it's got a black interior. Got some aftermarket wheels on it, but it looks basically stock with some white letter tires on it. It's very clean.
I think I know this one.
35.
Oh,
35, Jeff?
32.
Mars?
25.
25. $43,000.
Wow.
Let's stay in the Pontiac family, shall we? 65 Pontiac Bonneville
Oh.
with skirts on the back wheel openings.
Like skirts. Love skirts.
What year is it?
A 65 Pontiac Bonneville.
That
and
car's like 2 zip codes long.
it's massive. It's a 4-door sedan.
Yeah, price it by weight.
Yeah, pretty much. And
Scrap weight.
it's very clean. It looks like it's been restored. All stock stuff, white wall tires. I mean, back in the day, this was a fancy car.
Yeah, it
So
was.
the Bonneville was the performance sedan to Pontiac.
My dad had a Catalina.
So what do you think, Mars?
I'm going to say 15.
15. Okay.
I'm going to go 25.
22.
22. Mars is the closest without going over. $16,800. I would buy that car, but I don't know where the heck I'd put it because you can't fit it in the
it's
garage.
not big enough to fit. You couldn't put it in your driveway.
Well, that's pretty much it. A 51 Willis utility wagon.
What you talking about?
It's kind of like a Woody. 51 Willis utility wagon. It's a two-door. And it's got what appears to be wood. I don't think it is, but whatever.
Back before sport utilities were sport utilities.
Yeah. It was back in this particular era. It was like ugly. I don't think they sold tons of them, but anyway, 51 Willis utility wagon.
I'll go 12.
12.
17.
17 bars.
Yeah, I'll go 16.
$10,500.
Oh.
Yeah. Another Pontiac Grand Prix 84 model.
The quad square headlights.
Yep, quad square headlights, the opera window in the back. It's a two-door Pontiac Grand Prix 84 model. Clean.
9,000.
9,000? Conrad?
Well, I'll go 10.
Okay.
I'll go 12.
12. $8,600. That'd be a fun car to have in the garage.
That'd be yep.
And finally, we're going to do the 56 Volkswagen Beetle. A 56 Volkswagen Beetle that we've all grown up with. It's been around forever. The only thing that defined the years back then
Was it 0 to 60 time? It took years to get to 60 miles an hour and a long downhill.
and that back window. Remember, it started off
Yeah.
as that little round
Small opera.
Yeah, the original ones were oval split windows.
Yeah,
and
oval
then they
splits.
changed to an oval, and then they changed to the bigger window.
Yeah. Well, this one appears to have the bigger window, but it's still a 56. Not that made any difference, really. I guess that they kind of made modifications to the engine, but very little.
Yeah, a whole 42 horsepower, probably.
Yep. So a 56 Volkswagen Beetle, extra clean looking, black with a red interior, white wall tires. What do you think?
12.
12.
8.
8?
10.
Well, all of you have missed it by a ton. $23,100.
That's the sold price?
That's the sold price.
Probably got an LS in it.
Must have hidden something else in there.
Well, it's probably been fully restored because it looks like it's a brand new car.
Well, I was thinking with the red interior, I don't think I ever saw a red
No,
interior.
I don't think there were any.
Somebody's been working on it. I
Yeah,
guess.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little overpriced, but whatever.
Cool car.
It is.
But
grocery
don't
getter.
buy it for speed.
That's for sure. Jeff has a special feature for us.
Oh, okay. Let me pull that up.
Okay. And when you told me you were going to do this, I thought, how perfect. Love it. Let's do it.
Well, this is all about Santa, since it is his time of the,
The reason
year.
for the season.
Yeah, reason for the season. Excuse me, and let me get this going here. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Santa's sleigh looks charming, though it seems to be antiquated. But we suspect it's way more cutting edge than he lets on. Think about it. Does it make sense that Santa's elves would have adopted an autopilot system that would give any Tesla a run for its money? For safety, the sleigh is equipped with a special blind spot monitoring system specifically designed to alert Santa and the reindeer to the presence of aircraft and large birds. The sleigh's typical rearview camera would also get an upgrade and is likely designed to scan in every direction to ensure Santa's path is always clear for takeoff and landing. The system would most likely be aided by thermal imaging. The sleigh's dashboard, as you see there, is dominated by Santa's own GPS navigation, so the elves could map out Santa's millions of stops before Christmas Eve. Just to make sure Santa doesn't miss anyone, the sleigh definitely has a built-in naughty or nice sensor, Mike. Keeps Santa updated on children's activities right down to the last minute. This is important, as even the most minor of naughty deeds, Conrad, committed within the final few hours of December 24th.
Naughty Deeds. Wasn't that ACDC?
Dirty
It was.
Deeds,
Dirty
Dumb
Deeds,
Dirt
Dumb
Naughty
Dirt
Deeds,
Cheap.
yeah.
Dirty Deeds. The speedometer on the sleigh's dashboard allows Santa to monitor his flying speed. State-of-the-art radio keeps him in constant touch with Mrs. Claus and the team at the North Pole. They send him minute-to-minute updates on local weather reports and toy inventory. God, that's very important. Okay, well, moving on. When it comes to Santa's toy bag, you're probably wondering how he fits all his presents in one bag. Think of a multi-dimensional present compartment in the form of a traditional gift sack. Santa's toy bag, as we know it, really acts as a portal between the sleigh and the North Pole. I couldn't figure that out until I'm this age.
Beam me more toys, Scotty.
However, we'd also like to think that Santa may have harnessed the power of nanotechnology and found a way to miniaturize millions of presents into one large bag. This information does seem to be a little unconfirmed, though. Santa's sleigh incorporates a stardust antimatter propulsion unit for power that is still very real possibilities here in today's vehicles. Here's how it works. Antimatter is the opposite of regular matter, the mirror image of normal particles that make up everything we can see or touch. The big draw to antimatter is the amount of energy it helps create. When antimatter and matter come into contact, they alienate each other, breaking apart into tons of smaller particles, and 100% of their masses convert to energy. That's how he gets around, Conrad.
Star Trek.
We have reason to believe Santa's clever elves would have figured out a way to combine this stardust antimatter propulsion unit with electric motor for high-tech, one-of-a-kind, hybrid power train of the sleigh.
So it's an EV.
Yeah, could be. We bet, for example, that the elves, that's a different one. That's a different holiday, Mike. The elves have borrowed a trick from the mainstream automakers and installed Apple CarPlay and Android Auto smartphone integration. We won't speculate whether Santa's a Google guy or an Apple aficionado, but the sleigh is probably equipped with either or. Santa can use his voice recognition to text Mrs. Claus, catch up on his favorite In-Wheel Time podcast during the Christmas Ride playlist.
Ketchup.
There you go.
You like ketchup. Ketchup on everything.
Yeah, ketchup on everything.
That's very nice. I like that. Mm-hmm. We do have some more of the stop sale or...
Stop sale. Is that just insanity? Complete insanity.
General Motors has issued a stop sale order on nearly 3,000 of its highly profitable Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra full-size pickups because of a roof issue. It affects only some of them. The roof panel split defect. The spokesperson said the issue has been corrected and additional production should not be affected. Customers with affected Silverados or Sierras are being instructed to contact a dealership to schedule a repair. Do not take it to the car wash. Or, better yet, if you really want to know if it's working or not, if the split has happened, then take it to the car wash, and you'll find out real quick. Because it's basically right up there at the roof rail where they put together the roof top and the surround around the door.
Up on the rooftop, click, click, click. My roof came off, now I'm sick.
That's it. Okay.
All right.
Well, shout out to the Emmons Racing Team. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Yes. And thanks again for Wally. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said it will open an investigation into about 454,840 Nissan Motor Company vehicles over reports alleging engine failure that can lead to a loss of motive power with no ability to restart. Evaluation into 21 through 23 Nissan Rogue, 19 to 21 Altimas, 19 to 21 Infiniti QX50 vehicles, adding a total of 6 complaints were received regarding the issue.
Yeah, you know how they fix that recall? They give them a free roadside assistance program to get them towed in.
Oh, man. You imagine spending that kind of, any kind of money on a brand new vehicle? Mm-hmm. The motor broke. Not just broke, it broke for good. Mm-hmm. It's out. Psst, you know about that.
All too well.
Yeah.
Some brands way more than others.
Now, in the bad dealers department.
Oh, got another one, did you?
Listen.
Hey, it's getting to be Christmas time. People got to take care of the family.
Let's start stealing.
And you know, it's funny because it seems like we get one of these at least once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
And they're for hundreds of thousands of dollars at a time.
The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is suing South Austin Nissan here in Texas and its owners, accusing them of creating a sexually hostile work environment. This is from Automotive News. Federal lawsuit filed Wednesday in the Western District of Texas names 3 former saleswomen who say they were harassed by the then general manager, sales manager, and used vehicle sales manager at the store. The allegations include inappropriate comments,
He was a busy guy.
touching, and propositions. The dealership's former general sales manager also alleges that he tried to report these behaviors to the group's human resources director and its COO. The former general sales manager also transferred his pay cut and eventually terminated in retaliation, the complaint alleges. The commission claims South Austin Nissan and owner NICPA, N-I-C-P-A, Central Auto Group in Houston, violated U.S. civil rights law. The lawsuit seeks that the store eradicate the effects of its past and present unlawful employment practices and compensate those impacted for lost income and emotional harm. South Austin Nissan and NICPA Central Auto Group, through a lawyer, declined to comment on the allegations. Not clear if the three managers still work for the dealership or group. They're not listed in the South Austin Nissan website's staff page. The EEOC claims in its complaint that the unlawful practices span beyond the three named female employees. For example, lawsuit alleges that one manager often encouraged female employees to wear revealing clothing to sell more cars.
That's what I used to do.
I was going to say that wouldn't be the first time I've heard that
I used
one.
to do that.
Yeah.
In the complaint, one of the former saleswomen accused the then general manager of asking her what would happen if he kissed her, and another time he rubbed his pelvis against her while staring at her breasts. She terminated in May of 2022. Another of the former saleswomen alleges that the sales manager watched pornography while at work and described his own sexual activity to coworkers. Third saleswoman accused the used vehicle sales manager of commenting on her body and clothing, as well as telling sexually explicit stories about himself.
Keeping Austin weird.
The latter two women were constructively discharged as a result of the harassment. According to the complaint, all three women claimed they reported the inappropriate behavior to superiors, but were ignored.
They need a clean house there.
Dude,
They need a clean house.
Terminated?
If I were a husband of one of those women, I would be irate. They'd have to call the Austin Police Department.
Yeah.
And you'd be arrested, but not the perv.
Probably.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, it might still be you.
Dude, I just,
Either way.
in today's world, that still happens.
Out of your mind. Completely out of your mind.
It is, you know, but and several years ago, I knew of a dealer there in Mid County. He actually fired one of his used car people for being that way. I mean, he was so scuzzy that he
Scuzzy. Haven't used that word in a while.
Yeah.
It's truly amazing to me that still continues this day. All right. Quick break now. We'll be right back. You're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show podcast. Thanks for joining us.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeartRadio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeartRadio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeartRadio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
Podcasting and streaming from Studio A inside the Sugar Shack Studios. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, award-winning racetrack announcer with a wrap on the 23 racing season and changes for 24. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Rodney Rodriguez. You'll hear my thoughts on a week with the new Land Rover Defender, a 3-row off-roader that also doubles as a luxury grocery getter. And then Conrad has the cruising calendar. It's all just ahead in this episode of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. So glad you could join us on this Christmas weekend for our live broadcast. Every Saturday from 8 to 11 o'clock next weekend will be our New Year show. Yeah. And I'm sure that there'll be booze in the studio and we'll be celebrating like no tomorrow. Not.
We got something special next weekend.
Yeah? What's that?
The next weekend.
Yeah. Okay, well, there's that. Speaking of something special, ladies and gentlemen, live from the Hill Country. I guess we could call it that, can't we, Rodney?
Close enough. Yeah.
Close enough. He's close enough
hilly.
to the hill. Huh?
It's hilly. It's hilly, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
but you're at the southern end of the hills.
Yeah, I'm not far from Austin. Luckily, I'm not in Austin.
Well, it's better than being at the Walls unit.
The Walls unit up in Huntsville. Well, I think we got him from there. Rodney Rodriguez, award-winning racetrack announcer, and your in-the-know Texas connection to local racing action. How is local racing? Do we still have a group of racers out there that love to do their thing on a Saturday or Friday night?
We really do. Very, very dirt heavy, as I've mentioned in the past, and only getting bigger. It seems like.
Why is dirt so popular now? It originally started as dirt, and then it moved to asphalt. Now it's back to dirt again.
It depends who you ask, guys. I mean, a lot of folks when they say dirt is more economical, but BS. I mean, you guys know racers. I mean, you can give them the most economical thing, and they're going to find a way to screw that up and make it expensive.
Well, that's where the phrase "dirt cheap" comes from, isn't it?
I guess so. But
the deal with the dirt is that, man, it'll really take a toll on suspension, especially later on in the racetrack venue when they get it all rutted up and stuff.
Yeah. Don, when asphalt was kind of dying off here, it's not dead. I mean, there's Houston still. But when that was starting to fall off, a lot of guys would tell me that as well, to where it's like, it's not as bad on the equipment. Well, the first time that I took my dwarf car out after, asphalt racing had kind of fallen off a little bit, I bent 2 spindles, bent a rear end housing, blew a shock out, all of that. And I'm like, this is cheaper?
Yeah.
I mean, this is less torrential on my car? It's all beat to hell,
Yeah. So,
Is dwarf car politically correct anymore?
Yeah, it is.
It is. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
do they sell them as that, dwarf cars?
Yeah.
That's how they're sold. Yeah.
Yeah, like they have a huge event every September, October, and it's like the whatever Dwarf Car Nationals, and I'm just waiting for that one to have to change its name, Small Car Vintage Nationals or something.
Well,
like
I mean, but prior to that,
the Hervé Phillips Nationals.
Prior to that, it was midgets.
Yeah.
Oh, that's talk about politically incorrect.
That's still okay because that's one of the first big races that you have. Middle of January, you've got the Chili Bowl
up in Tulsa.
Yeah, in Tulsa.
Yeah. Do you ever go to that?
Never been there. I've never been.
Wednesday night, I meet some friends for dinner on Wednesday
Yeah.
nights. Cheap margaritas, cheap Mexican food. He's got 2 cars that he's trying to get ready to take to the Chili Bowl from down here.
Let's explain to everybody the difference between a midget and a dwarf.
About 4 inches.
It's a DNA thing.
Cars.
About 4 inches.
Yeah, exactly. Wheelbase. I mean, wheelbase and horsepower, essentially. They are both very, when it comes to weight to horsepower ratio, vast difference right there. That's like with the dwarf car. The one that I still have, I mean, it's a very short wheelbase, and but it's got a Kawasaki, 1000 engine in there, so it is just a rocket ship.
And midgets have a traditional V8.
Yeah, and those no reverse, just like a dwarf car. I mean, it's a motorcycle engine, so you're running a motorcycle transmission and all of that, and same thing with the midget, but it's just a lot of horsepower. It's just a whole lot of horsepower, and you better hang on, man, because if one of those things gets a little wicked on you, you're going to take a tumble. But those thrive. I mean, sprint cars I've really found with sprint cars in Texas, they've always been a big deal, dirt sprint cars. But where now, just like with every other division that you find in short track racing, it doesn't matter what surface you're on. It's like with the sprint cars, you've got the 305 sprints, engine. Then you've got the 360 sprints. And then you got the big old bad 410s. But it's one of those things. I joke with my friends at Heart of Texas Speedway out in Waco, right off of 35, right before the split that way. And it's like all they have to do is put Sprint Cars Friday on their marquee. And it doesn't matter if it's a chuck wagon sprint car, that place is going to be jam-packed, man. It's
I'll tell you what,
cars, man.
and especially when it comes, for me, dirt. I'm typically not a big dirt kind of guy, but when it comes to winged sprint cars, I am there. I want to have the hot dog and the Coke and the popcorn.
Throwing dirt clods into the stands.
I want to be there for that. I want to see
Dodging
that
them.
3-wide, crazy
Cover that beer
stuff.
can. Cover that beer cup.
That's right. Yeah.
It's gonna get some sweet and low in there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But,
Is there going to be any of that here in the next few months?
World of Outlaws are doing 2 nights at Cotton Bowl Speedway in Page.
Okay.
Actually, between you guys and I don't remember the exact date, but they've got 2 dates there. You've got some big stuff happening out y'all's way at 105. 105 Speedway in Cleveland, not Ohio. 105 Speedway, they've got a full schedule, and what I'm excited about on the dirt track side this year around here is that number one, dirt late models. Dirt late models to me are just really cool. With that long nose and that big tall tail. Not to mention, a lot of those that they try to run the crate engine thing that we're working with Rogers Dabbs. So that's good for business. But those are just a lot of fun to watch, and we are starting to see a resurgence right now of the actual IMCA modifieds, the actual true modified cars. Because now you've got economy modified, you've got sport mods, limited mods. It's part of what I think was the problem with asphalt racing, to where you had a late model on asphalt, and then you had a pro late model, a limited late model, a beginner late model, a super late model. Geez, how many of these do you need? And that's kind of what I'm seeing with dirt. There's a lot of options, and all the while with those options, the cash register is ding, ding.
And in those options, is that about the level of car, the level of driver, a combination of the two? How do they determine what option they want to run in?
It's the drivers say it's based on the budget, but what you see a lot of times is, and that's the problem. Like now, what I'm talking about with the modified class in Texas, the true dirt modified, the big mod as we call it, that at one time was the staple. That was you had that. Then you had an IMCA stock car, and you may have some kind of bomber class. That was your dirt, your core dirt series. Well, then I think probably late 90s or whatever, mid to late 90s, you came at the sport mod, which wasn't quite the full-blown modified, but it was something that was a alternate to it if you didn't have the money for the big modified. Well, before you know it, your modified field has shrunk, and a lot of those modified guys have built themselves a sport mod or a limited modified, whatever you want to call it.
Because of cost.
Now what's happened in the dirt world is you've got these things called factory stocks, which are, a steel-bodied metric or leaf spring car, whatever you choose to run right there. You can't run headers. You have to run, stock rocker arms. I mean, all of that stuff. It's stock. Well, you can race those all around this region right here, and you can pick up $10,000 to $15,000 to win per show. So the limited modified class has now dwindled, and everybody has a factory stock. And now there are purpose-built factory stock chassis to where that was designed to use a stock concept. So,
well, that doesn't sound very factory stock. A factory stock chassis, custom built chassis.
Well, guys, I see.
Built to specs.
I've got friends that build them. And it's like, oh yeah, got your roller, $20K out the door. $20K for a stock car? I mean, come on.
You can buy 4 dwarf cars for that.
Well, and then that class too. I mean, because the class that I ran in, the dwarf car, it was all home built, dwarf cars. Now you can pick yourself up some really cool dwarf cars. They're still called dwarf cars, but they're like modified lights is what they look like. You can pick you up one of those rollers, bad boy, for about $16K right out the door, ready for a motor, and let's go.
And how much does a motor cost in one of those?
Well, and then there's that. So it used to be, eBay used to be the place where you'd go find yourself a good motorcycle engine, and maybe you'd pay $3K, $4K to get something a little more.
It's $12K.
Yeah. The division that I was in, like the last year that I was in there in 2016, the rule that we had, because it was a member-run group, you couldn't run any. You could run a Kawasaki, a Suzuki, a Yamaha, whatever it was. But in 2016, it couldn't be any newer than, I think, 2008. Wow. That was the newest one you could run. Shoot. Now these guys are going out and getting 2015s and speed, buddy.
Hey, get seven of them together and call it the Cinderella series.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely that.
So,
it's a golden slipper somewhere.
Let's talk about the 2023 season that's now in the rearview mirror. How did it go? What you saw, how did it go?
It was good. I'm not going to say excellent. I'm not going to say great. I think it was good. I think it's imperative in short track racing, no matter where, any part of the country, that you see progress. And we did continue to see progress, both on asphalt and on pavement. It just what concerns me, it's been on the asphalt side for a while, and now like with the stuff I'm talking about now on dirt, what you're seeing is series that are maybe revitalized. I know on the asphalt side with super late models, with pavement super late models, you've got 2 really good series that they're not really going head to head, but they're kind of dividing the field. You know what I mean? And when your pool of drivers has kind of narrowed itself down quite a bit, and then you draw a wedge in between them, or kind of put some discontent there, that's concerning to where you might start losing, drivers, or, I hate it when a series or a racetrack falls off the map. I did see in 2023, I saw a lot of racetracks that are no longer going to be operating, and that sucks. I mean, one of them right here in Texas. Devil's Bowl Speedway out in Mesquite. That is one of the biggest racetracks in the country. That was the original racetrack in 1978 that hosted the World of Outlaws, and they ran a huge event in October. And after that event, they said, "Well, that's it. We're done. Closing." And that's a lot of years down the drain.
Sell out to a subdivision, or they sell the land, or what happened?
Yep. What actually happened there is a municipal airport right on the other side of it, which for the longest time has been a good thing, because I've always said, when you're a racetrack, there are 2 neighbors you want. Number 1, a railroad track or an airport, because they ain't going to care anything about the noise. If anything, their noise is louder than yours. Well, the airport decided they wanted to expand, and they apparently went and made an offer, and the second generation owners were like, can't pass it up.
Yeah, really.
And you don't really blame him, I guess.
How's it looking as far as the public attendance to these events?
That's a topic, guys, that comes up frequently. It seems like just on any platform that I end up on. It depending on the show, like you were talking about with sprint cars, dirt late models, those type of things. You usually have a couple of weeks ago in Corpus Christi. They had a big end of the season show, and it packed them. It packed it up really nice. Weekly shows, you do seem to have those taper off a little bit, but I think a big part of that is that now you've got streaming services that can provide you an experience that, hell, a lot of times, I'll say it's better than being there. Food's cheaper, the potty line is cheaper, the beer's cheaper, and they have
replays.
They have replays, and they have high definition cameras, and they have all of that. So
and they've got somebody like you that can explain everything that's going on that you might not hear in the stands.
That helps as well. It's very much a TV experience where you've got Race on Texas here in the Lone Star State that does well. Racing America, Flow Sports. Flow Sports has massive leaps and bounds that they have, not only with the racing, but they can bring you an experience in any sport that is just tremendous. So there's that. Promoters used to look at that as very much a negative thing when that first started, but now a lot of these streamers have packages to where there's revenue sharing involved, which there should be. There should be. I mean,
sure.
if I'm selling, if I'm taking in wheel time and I'm going to put that on my platform and I'm not giving you a dime, that's crap, and that's what was happening. But now they've figured different things out to where, but that, long story short, that keeps people at home. That keeps people home.
They're still watching, but it's from a different perspective.
But they're not paying.
And it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't
fees.
do anything for the track.
Who have you aligned yourself with this upcoming 2024 season?
You know me. I'm going to kind of be a lot of different places. Very excited that there will be 11 dates there at Houston Motorsports Park.
Are you going to? Are you the voice there?
That's what they tell me.
That's good.
I'm showing up the first day. If there's some other dude up there, I guess I'll just leave.
we know how this business works.
I'm here for the beer.
Yeah, exactly. 11 dates there, and then excited to do heading back to the I think I talked to you guys when I was in, where was that? Alabama for the Rattler. I think I talked to you guys that weekend. I was heading back to that. Going to do some stuff in Pensacola. May get to do some stuff in Georgia. Dirt tracks here, Corpus Christi around here. So it'll be.
We need to have the Rodney Rodriguez fan club with the tour bus. And so, all of us Houston fans, we're going to get on the bus and we're going to go to wherever you are. What do you think about that?
Be a short bus.
You got a Volkswagen Yugo? I think that's probably all you need, man. Jam pack them in there like sardines, and let's head to the dirt track, buddy.
So, what do you got planned for your Christmas holiday?
We'll lay low around here. We'll just kind of stay at the house and see if anybody shows up here. Kids are in. We had one of the girls graduate from UNT last Friday, so we've got both girls here hanging out with us.
Nice.
And we'll just kind of take it from there. How about you guys? What's on the horizon?
Well,
Are y'all doing a Christmas
we're
special?
all doing our own thing here locally, and I don't think any of us are going. Conrad had a nice little open house at his party, and Jeff and Kathy and Leslie and I went up there and visited, and it was very nice, very nice. And Mars retreated back over there to Neaterville, and that's his usual hangout. So I think it's all good over there.
Well, and with some of the other stuff, some of my other ventures that I'm in, it's a good time of year right now to be in sports radio because, the team that I cover in college football is playing in the college football championship. So that will keep me.
Which team is that?
That would be the Texas Longhorns.
Oh, so
do you get to call that game?
No. I work with a online sports radio outlet here in the Austin area.
Yeah.
I do a daily show there. So these people are crazy about Texas football, so we've got stuff to talk about. Your NFL team is pretty good right now. So
yours isn't.
Mine.
What a downer, man!
I had to say it. Hey,
put your thumb on him.
The truth hurts.
It does. I don't deny it, man. It's been 30 some odd years.
So, Rodney, where can we pick up your weekly show and the Dirt Show?
That one here in Texas, Monday evenings, Revved Up Sports Show on Facebook and RevvedUpSportsShow.com. That's the place to go for that. That's Texas-based. You get a lot of regional guests on there talking to different dirt track folks and really talking to Texas promoters, trying to dig stuff out from them. It's like I'm telling all these promoters, I'm like, look, if you're going to drop your schedule, why don't you drop your schedule on my show where there's 100 and however many hundred people watching? I mean, do it here. Don't just do a Facebook post on midnight on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
jeez,
exactly.
Yeah.
And how about Dirty Air?
Dirty Air Thursdays on Racing America, 6 p.m. Central. That one, I know a lot of the Racing America shows, they actually take a break. I don't take a break. I just keep going. There's always gossip. There's always, my shows are like The Young and the Restless, man. I go in there and I dig out all the stuff people really want. Who cares about the race?
Peyton
Who's
Place.
mad at each other? That's what they want.
Well, listen, man, it's always good to talk to you. It's good to see you, and best wishes for the holiday season. And I want to be invited out to Houston Motorsports Park. You know when the first event's going to be out there?
No, March. First part of March. Part of March. I'll actually work with Owen Pittman and Dean Baker over there, and maybe for the season opener we can do something. I mean, you guys are welcome anytime, but maybe for the season opener, maybe do something, have you guys out, and let's have a good year. I've said that Houston market is big. I mean, the stuff you guys do and a great job you guys do. But man, why not go tap that market, a huge metropolitan city like that, and make it somewhere people want to go see short track racing.
You got it, Rodney. It's great to talk to you. Thank you, my friend. God
Thanks,
bless
Rodney.
you. We'll talk to you again soon.
You guys be well. Merry Christmas, guys.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for the cruise-in calendar. Conrad has that.
Not too much going on as far as cruise-ins, Christmas weekend. So back to you, Don.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad you did your homework on that and found out that there's nothing going on.
It don't take us long to do nothing.
No, absolutely not. Time now for this hour's car review. Had a chance to drive the 2023 Land Rover Defender. It's available in these trim levels. Starts with the S and moves up to the SE. Then the X Dynamic SE, the X, the V8, and the first edition. I had the 130 SE. This is the long wheelbase model with 3 rows of seating. This is considered a standard SUV body on frame. Seats up to 8 passengers, all new in 2020. Exterior features. Well, keeping the post-World War II look with its upright design and windshield, modern styled lighting front and rear with slab sides, kind of a little bit of a throwback there, and it looks pretty good as far as I'm concerned. 2-door version reminds of the Bronco. This is a carryover of top of the fender black plastic protectors. And I don't know whether you're familiar with Land Rover and their vehicles, but it's kind of a long-standing thing. Matter of fact, I saw them restore one here not too long ago, and they actually went out and got some new ones for this particular restoration to sit on top of those front fenders.
I think it's so you could stand on them.
I think that's what it was originally meant for.
And stack stuff on the roof.
Yeah,
Yep.
Exactly. This is definitely a off-road vehicle. Interior highlights: unique linear dash with a built-in shelf. Very unusual, but it works. Touchscreen is fairly easy to understand. The shifter is high up on the dash. Of course, it's an electronic one, so you push it forward to put it in reverse, and you pull it back to get it into drive.
Sounds very British.
Yeah,
It is very, very British. Seating is comfortable but rugged. Cargo trunk room, minimal with all 3 rows of seating up. What I liked about it, lots of off-road option controls that are all displayed on the center stack, and you can control everything if you want to, or put it in automatic, and it will do its own thing. What could use improvement? The steering wheel control points are confusing. For instance, do you know what a diamond shape is for? Neither do I. Do you know what a dot?
For a ring.
Do you know what a dot on the steering wheel is for?
Stop.
I have no clue either.
Well, what happened when you pushed it?
Nothing. So it has to do something, but I didn't find out what it was. You know, on these vehicles, I don't really get too deep into them because I don't have time for that. And I will tell you that if I can't find the cruise control, which I can on almost all of the vehicles, and get it to engage or, move up the speed or move down the speed, then
You're not happy.
I'm not. And this one, all I'd had to done is pull out the the owner's manual and looked it up and
If it has
learned
one.
how to do it. If it has one.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have one in the glove box, chances are it's in the center stack, the
That you
screen
can't find.
that I can't find. So, anyway.
So did the first edition one come with a Kenny Rogers CD?
That I don't know about that. I knew you were going to go there. No. As far as power is concerned, it is supplied by a 3.0-liter inline six with a mild hybrid. Okay? So it's got a little bit of help. Horsepower, 395 horsepower in this
Wow.
thing and 406 pound-feet of torque. 8-speed automatic transmission with a tow rating of 8,200 pounds. And without towing anything, I can tell you this thing will get up and go. 17 miles per gallon city is what it's rated. 21 highway for a combined of 19. I got 20.4. Not bad.
Pretty good in that big boat.
Yeah, yeah. And it's actually not that big. It's not like a Range Rover.
Well, you say Bronco size.
It's
Sort of.
kind of, yeah. It's bigger than a Wrangler, but it's smaller than the Range
Tahoe.
Rover. Yeah, or the Tahoe.
And smoother, more current looking versus the Mutual of Omaha version I thought of.
That's right.
Because that was the
With
original.
Marlin
Defender.
Perkins.
Marlin Perkins.
Remember the hat? What I liked about it, gobs of power, acts like a V8. It was pretty smooth, I'll have to admit. What could use improvement? An easier to use start-stop off button. You know, there are some vehicles that need an off button. Or
Some
how
people
about
that
just
need
the
an off
option of having the start-stop feature and you can engage it? I would like to see it reversed for me personally. I don't want that start-stop feature because I am a 2-foot driver, even with an automatic transmission. And when I want to go, I would take my left foot off the brake and ease down or stomp down
Or
on the
vice versa,
accelerator
yeah.
pedal. Ride and handling. That air ride suspension is the best on any vehicle I have ever driven, period.
Bar none. Wow.
It is truly amazing. They've got that thing down to a science. What could use improvement? Nothing. Easy to get into parking spaces with this thing. This is a serious luxury off-roader that can hold its own on the road as well. Base trim price, $78,300. Prices tested, $88,025. The base model price, $53,500. Now, what do you compare it to? How about the Bronco? Starts at $34,995. That's $34,095. Wrangler 4xE, because it is a hybrid, $54,735. So that would be really the more one-on-one. Or you could stay in the Land Rover Discovery, and that starts at $58,400. And that, my friends, is the review of the 2023 Land Rover Defender.
It's a good-looking truck.
The In Real Time Car Talk show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Real Time Car Talk. We also video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and InRealTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11. Podcasts available on your favorite podcast outlet. The In Real Time Car Talk show continues right after this quick break.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Loopy Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Loopy Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants invite you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk. A global player in podcasting and live streaming.
What?
If you dare. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, last-second Christmas gift ideas that you're going to go, what? Well, grab one at a local store, or you can also print proof that you bought it online and have it shipped to whoever your friend is that you're buying gifts for. Conrad has This Week in Auto History. We'll get you caught up on the stories making headlines this week. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. That should have been Santa Claus DeLong.
Ho, ho, ho.
There you go.
Yo, ho, ho, and a bottle of rum.
All right. Well,
no, that was vodka last night.
Yeah. And
what was that?
They emptied
that
the
ginger
bottle.
thing? That was really good with the vodka in it.
Vodka, Cointreau, ginger, honey, vanilla. It was good.
Yeah,
I drank a lot of it.
I know you did. I saw you fill up that mug.
A couple of times.
Fill up my mug.
His was bottomless. He had a bottomless Yeti.
Yeah, a Yeti. Was that a Yeti? Mm-hmm. It was a Yeti?
Mm-hmm. He had a bottomless Yeti.
Did you buy that yourself?
Mm-mm.
I was going to say,
had it for
because
Christmas
those are
last
really,
year.
what are they, like $100 for that stupid
About
thing?
50.
Okay, whatever.
And that'd be a great gift.
Yeah.
The Yeti.
You know what we need to do?
Or Arctic, because Arctic's Houston-based. Mm-hmm. You can get
Mars, we need to have some merch.
We have a little bit of merch.
What kind of merch do we have? Is it for sale on our website?
Go to our website, merchandise, and you can, there's
get a pencil with your name on it or something?
Yeah. No, we have this, we have a few things up there, a couple of T-shirts, and...
what are they, used ones out of your mother's house?
That's why there's only a few of them, because I haven't dug up all of them from the car show.
Got some knitted doilies.
Yeah. Well, that's to go to church with.
Yeah, there it is, Jeff. Pop it up there.
Here's our merch page.
The merch page. Can you pop that up, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm working on that, trying to redo a little bit of it. Not real happy with some of it, but
they are gifts,
yep.
And time's a ticking.
Time's a ticking. All right, so
shirts, stuff.
All right. Well, I came up with a couple. So Hemmings, we interviewed the CEO last week.
Yes.
So I thought, well, let's see what we got over there. So Hemmings had some ideas. Hemmings has a Muscle Machines calendar. If you're into older muscle machines. New Year just around the corner. Time now to order. Generously sized 12 by 12. Organizational tool printed on thick premium paper, and it's illustrated with multiple images of a dozen of America's most coveted performance vehicles of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Beautifully presented photos. It's really nice looking. It truly is. They do a very good job of it. So there's one, $14.95. And obviously you're not going to get it for Christmas because it's only 2 days away.
Yeah.
But what you do is you go and order it. There's the receipt. There's a picture of the calendar. Ding!
Put
Print.
a little gift thing, you know, little gift card.
Print it out and put that in your Christmas card to the person.
There you go.
A stocking stuffer.
Here's one from Summit Racing Equipment. Few companies know classic Mustangs better than Scott Drake, the firm that makes and markets many of the most accurate reproduction components used in restoring Ford's classic pony car. Summit Racing carries a line of Scott Drake products, including the improved 64 to 73 Mustang tote bags. It's certainly worth a look at if you're in a Mustang person, Randy. $29.99 $29.99 for the small, $33.99 for the large. It's not bad. It's kind of a throwback looking
Little gym
thing.
bag.
Yeah.
Here's one. This is from the Conrad collection. CarTechBooks.com sells this thing for the OBD1 and OBD2, a complete guide to diagnosis, repair, and emissions compliance.
You know what OBD stands for?
It's kind of
onboard diagnostics.
I was going to say Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. Technician you are.
Onboard diagnostic. Yeah. So it covers 1997 to 2023 models. Okay. You can get that. CarTech Publishing has that. $36.95 is what that costs.
That's not bad.
So if you're no, it's not at all.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a real car tech person,
Yeah.
here you go.
Carry it in a glove box?
I don't know about that, but you could certainly put it beside the bed on a nice, quiet evening with nothing else to do. And
Plug it in.
Scan the codes in your car.
and you will go right to sleep. I promise you that. All right. A couple of other ideas. Hobby Lobby.
Mm-hmm.
You can go there today, and believe it or not, they have an automotive section in Hobby Lobby.
Did not know that.
They do. Ford, Chevy, Chrysler, Mopar, baseball caps, metal advertising signs, wall art, metal cars and trucks. In this, and it's a nice little section in there. Just walk right through the center of the store, and it's right in that area.
Right
and
next
they
door.
still sell plastic model cars. You know,
They do.
Revell was the brand. It's not. It doesn't exist anymore.
Well, it's
AMT is.
it's Revell America.
But yeah, you can still go in there and buy plastic cars to put
That
together.
department is right next to the potpourri. Don't forget that.
The potpourri.
How do you know that?
I read.
Yeah,
You're a liar.
He reads
You were
the
drug
labels
in there.
While Kathy's there, and he's over at the
No,
model car
The
section.
potpourri.
Yeah.
did you ever
that-
figure out how to get the potpourri to burn?
No.
Burn. Well, if you want to call it that, probably.
Zigzags.
That's the way to
That's the key. Okay.
Okay, so there's my contribution to this segment. So I'm thinking that you guys got something.
Yeah, we need to talk about so some of the stuff that you
We
were
don't
talking
need
about.
to talk about it, but we're going
Well,
to.
yeah, we're going to talk. Well, we need to talk about it
You
because
staying
we
on
need
that?
to bring to everybody's attention. So it's Christmas Eve, and again, you can do like Don said. There's some things you just can't get in time, so there's ways to work with that. But if you really want to go out and get something, if you want to get out and get into the Christmas spirit and go out and get something,
Get into
there's a couple of places you can go. One of them that's really handy for most people is Walmart, and they've got a pretty big automotive section. And
They do. And I love going there just for the automotive section.
Well, just because they got so much stuff on there. And
Well, I like the tire inflator thing.
Well, I
Those
was gonna say,
digital
yeah.
tire inflators. You know, you kind of inflate the tire, inflate the pool toys.
this other thing that we got here, this auto driving pivoting tablet, you're not supposed to be texting on your phone and stuff.
What is
but
that?
if you use the GPS function
it's a phone
Waze
app.
or
For a
something
phone.
like that, you don't want to be looking down at it, and you get something like this pivoting tablet or phone holder, and you can get it up in your eyesight to where you're not really looking off away from
How
the road.
does that
so much.
hook up?
It's $12,
Does
Is
it
it
hook
a
up to a
suction cup
vent
to the
or-
windshield? Or?
It's a suction cup to the windshield.
yeah.
Yeah,
Plus,
there-
I think
there's
you can
several
also
different
use
ones.
it. Yeah, I think you can also use it for if you're doing videoing your drive, and you want to get on YouTube or ridiculousness or something like that.
On-ramp
Yeah,
acceleration
yeah.
tests.
On-ramp acceleration tests.
I bought a cup holder. My C5 Corvette has a cup holder that's that deep. I kid you not, that deep.
Yeah,
little bitty tiny thing. So it was unusable. It's worthless. So I went and I bought. It cost me $50. It's 2 cup holders. It's a plastic piece, and it's got a thing that slides up underneath part of the center console and then rests on the floor. It has never fallen down. It's perfect. It sits over on the passenger side.
Made for the Corvettes.
Yeah, it's made for the Corvette. Then I went to WeatherTech and bought me a cup phone holder.
I like WeatherTech.
I do too.
like
So you put
We'll
the
go
thing
over there in a minute.
in one of the cup holders, and it's got a little thing that holds up my cell phone, so it's right there.
Yep.
And for me, it's important because I don't have Bluetooth in the car. So use my cell phone, plug it in, and I've got a little Bluetooth thing.
Stick. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's a thing that goes into what used to be the cigarette lighter,
And talks to the
radio.
Yeah. So there's some on this page that we've got pulled up here from 1240A is something similar you're talking about. It slips down in between the seam between the 2 seats, and it provides you.
It's where your
cup
phone
holders there.
drops and you can't ever
Yeah.
get it out.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
And, well, there's devices for that to cover that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this one's got cup holders in it.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably a pretty good idea. And, for
The other thing-
$14.
This $1.97 for these auto drive 4-pack headrest hooks. I've got 2 of them in my truck, and they clip onto the back of it. So behind your seat, you can hang things where hang an umbrella, or the dash cover hangs back there, so you can just reach back there and get it.
Your apron.
They're cheap, and it's an easy place to hang stuff.
If you want to be the hero of the neighborhood, the jump box. That's only $50. You want to get a jump box, 800 amp jump box.
That's a really good item to have for a lot of reasons.
And then I like these little storage container things. You unfold
outs,
it, fold it out, and it keeps your groceries from rolling around.
I told
the back
Leslie
of the
this
car.
morning, I said, you know what I want for Christmas? I want to have me a digital air gauge.
Yeah, that's. She can go to Walmart and get them.
Are they accurate?
Yeah,
They are?
This one's $32, and you just dial in your.
Well, but that's got the compressor. He's talking about just a gauge.
Just a gauge.
Just the gauge.
Oh, yeah.
Handheld digital gauge
Yeah.
is what I need.
You can get there's 2 or 3 of them.
Those old stick gauges, they are so inaccurate.
And hard to read.
Hard to read, yeah.
I thought yours had the Corvette's got it in the dash, doesn't it? You can read all 4 tire pressures
Well,
in the
it
dash.
does, but when you're filling it up, you want to get it right.
Yeah, you
from
don't
the
want to wait
beginning.
5 miles down the road for it to kind of get a reading.
Ding! Oh, you didn't put an extra pound in the left rear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There's all kinds of vacuum tools and cleaning tools.
Those are important.
Well, what are they, Jeff?
They
Clear
are,
headlight coating.
Well, there's like a vacuum. Is it a vacuum? in
Interior,
here?
Yeah, this is a car cleaning kit.
Yeah, car cleaning kit.
It's got some attachments to get down between the seats.
The
And
snow brush and ice scraper.
We need that a lot here.
Yeah.
I broke
I will
mine.
tell you that I did buy last year. I did buy a very nice little tire pump. Boy, am I glad I did too, because I got that great big nail in the tire coming back from I think it was a hot rod tour, and I had to stop every couple of miles to fill it up because I have a run flat tire. It has there's no spare, and I limped it home, got it home, and it had this great big. It was a drill actually, about that long that was in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Then they have the microfiber dust mop that stretches out to 48 inches.
Mop the whole car in one fell swoop.
well, for getting up in the dash, particularly something like your Corvette that's got a pretty
Long
broad,
hood.
yeah, long hood, but it's got a long dash because of the way it goes up underneath the
A
glass.
foam cannon.
There you go.
You know,
See, I
all
think
the
that
detail
would be
guys
fun to
we
play
have
with.
on.
Hey, well, not only that, but I think that we need to have a foam cannon party in the backyard during one of the spring shows. It's nice and warm outside.
What's the dress code?
That's what I'm thinking.
You know what the dress code
A
is.
little
Speedos.
Get a little kiddie
Speedos.
pool.
Especially for you, Conrad.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll do a
Your
Speedo.
cellophane
I'll just
one.
do a
Naked.
thong.
Oh, Lord.
I just threw up in my car.
Hey, look,
Okay.
Walmart sells
Clean the headset.
handicap placards.
Just lost 13 countries.
Handicap placards. Do we need those?
At Walmart? Yeah, it's
what's
the only
it?
way to
What
get
was
a
it?
good parking spot. Lot fancy 4-piece handicap parking permit placard.
How legal is that?
Wait, go back up to this. I need this one right there.
Well, you don't see this one. Explain
well, I know,
what
but I
it
got to
is.
get him back
The
to it.
auto drive 12-volt heated seat cushion with auto shutoff.
See, I don't have the
It's a
heated
whoopee
seat.
cushion.
I don't have the heated seats in the truck. It's got the cat skin interior, but no heated seats.
Cat
I think-
skin
Yes,
or calf skin?
cat skin.
How many cats?
It's
did
a
you have to
brand.
skin?
It's a brand.
Oh, okay.
Come on, you got to keep up. Yeah, if you're gonna be funny, if you got to explain it, it's not funny. Anyway,
Sign these.
$20. Hint, hint. I'll take it.
Okay.
Hey, Becky.
You know what we need to do?
Walmart's like 3
As
miles
opposed
from
to
here.
buying the gifts next year for our white elephant thing at our lunch, what we need to do is just have a piece of paper and we write out what you want that's under $25, and then we'll get it. And there you go.
It's not as
Walmart.
much fun as opening up stuff.
Well, there is that.
Hey, I'm
And
playing
some
with
of
that,
it was
that
fun.
little race guy.
yeah, Red Line Racer.
Red line. Oh, he's hilarious.
I love it. My wife hates it, but I love it. The other
You know,
thing
guys,
that's
if
really
you-
good is
you-
this
you
the
guys-
sunglass holder.
You guys
that fits-
carry on for a minute. I'm going to go get that thing and bring
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Go get it. We need to put it in here.
Let's look at the WeatherTech.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of WeatherTech. Every time Rochelle changes cars, I get her a new set of WeatherTechs. But their floor mats are awesome. They fit. They hold puddles of stuff. The seat cover.
Puddles or piddles?
Okay,
Depends on how
whether or not
far
the
you've been
dog's
driving.
Yeah. The sunshade, which is custom made for the vehicle.
What is this under the seat measurement? Oh, is that for
So
like a
it's
truck?
A pickup truck. It's a whole storage.
Oh yeah, if you got the lift up seat.
Coffin for lift up the seats. And then, Don said the cup phone.
There's a cup holder.
Cup holder, yeah.
Where's the cup phone? I missed that one.
I haven't seen it
I
yet.
don't think
Okay.
you got to it yet.
Those are popular. The vents
The bump
above
step,
the
yeah.
bump, no, the vents above the window to let
You know,
the
if you
air
would
in.
go a little bit faster, nobody could see anything.
There it is.
There's the
There's
cup
the cup
phone.
phone.
there.
And it's got an extension with it.
Look at that.
Okay, while I'm standing here in front of the camera, I want to show you what the Red Line Racer is. This was a gift that Mr. Morris gave us all. Can you see him?
I named mine Terry.
Start them up.
Laura said it's terrifying, so I named it Terry. Did you turn it on? Oh, you got to put it on the mic.
Yeah, I got to get it on the mic. That's why I held
He needs a little headset.
what it is.
Need to get a little headset for him, Mike.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe I can get this thing stretched over.
Yeah, it will.
Let me get,
There you go.
my headset over, just stretch over there so you can actually
Boys and their toys.
see. I know.
It's a little Christmas
I can't help it.
edition. Here we go.
You want
is-
something that's just a lot of fun, that doesn't take a
That's
lot
stupid.
of energy, and it irritates
And
you.
it annoys the crap out of your your
I love it.
spouse.
So let me see if I can do this right, so you can hear it and see it. Ready?
Get him up.
Yep.
Ready? Here we go.
Yeah, hold it up a little bit higher. You're losing the shifter. There you go.
That's the rev limiter.
Ding,
Ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding.
Let's slam it in reverse. I was talking to my daughter on the
Thank you,
phone,
Mr. Morris.
and I had that in the background, and I purposely turned it on because you just turn the key and it'll shut off after like about a minute. So she, what is that? I saw your mother's pulling in the garage.
It's got a lot of
Hilarious.
camshaft overlap. in it.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of burble there.
It's got a big cam in it.
Where is the? Oh, it's the speaker's underneath it.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't do it right.
Oh, you could hear it good.
Yeah,
you
it
hear
was
it good?
fun.
Oh, yeah.
Boys and their toys. Now we've lost the other 41 countries that we're watching.
We're down to
It's
two countries.
called Red Line Racer.
Amy says you all look so festive. Nuggy says hi to his pop-up and friends.
Oh, isn't
Nuggy.
that nice?
Nuggy, her dog.
no,
No.
Nuggy's grandson.
Nuggy.
It's his nickname.
His nickname. Rhett is his name. So there you have it.
Just leave it.
This week in auto history.
Oh, boy.
Time to change gears, Conrad.
You better shift it.
Let's shift it. Yeah, let's shift it. Upshift it right now.
So this week in 1903,
I'm not even
I
sure if I'm
remember
ready
it well.
the Wright brothers, and I know this isn't much to do with wheels, other than they were bicycle guys, had their first powered flight. At approximately 10:35 a.m., Wilbur watched his brother Orville took off from the beaches outside of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, making it the first time a powered, heavier-than-air machine would achieve controlled, sustained flight with a pilot on board. He crashed 12 seconds later and kind of tore up the plane, but I always thought that was kind of cool. That bicycle guys built that.
Did he get his luggage?
Airplane? No, they forgot his luggage in Charlotte. And then in 1949, the first Saab car, Saab's first production passenger car, the 92, began rolling off the Trottenholen.
Yeah, that's a perfect. Trollholen, whatever it is.
Assembly plant. That was a two-stroke car.
Yeah.
A lot of the early Saabs were two-stroke, so you had to fill it up with gas and oil at the same time. And then in 1972, the final lunar rover vehicle was left on the moon. Another $1 million thing from the government that they built 3 of them, left all 3 of them up there on the moon. And, kind of a shout out to Buzz. It was an EV. It was a pure EV.
And it was Apollo 17 was the last flight.
Apollo 17 was the last.
Can you imagine what those things are going to look like and be worth it? Talk about a barn find when you go back up there and retrieve it and bring it back.
Well, I think it still has solar panels to recharge itself, so it's been sitting up there recharging all this time. So by now, after, 35, 40 years, it may have fully recharged itself.
Talk about range anxiety.
Range anxiety on the moon, and it only went 20.1 kilometers per day. And they left and abandoned it on the moon.
Okay.
In 1989, Roger and Me debuted amid record profits in the 1980s for General Motors. Back before she got in charge, a series of decisions approved by General Motors CEO Roger Smith, who was another dirtbag, led to the closing of several GM plants in Flint, Michigan. Now, you were up there back then, weren't you? Mm-hmm. As they closed Flint and basically devastated Flint as a community. They closed all the assembly plants there, put 30,000 people out of work. Moore wished to bring Smith to Flint to show him how his actions affected the people, and Smith probably could care less. Roger was all about just making money. The film detailed the economics. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, long time ago.
I've never seen the movie. No real interest. And then in 2009, funny that it happened in the same week, GM announced it will shut down Saab. Despite GM's involvement, Saab faced financial challenges in the 2000s.
What a worthless car. Worthless.
Cool little car. Did you ever drive one?
Yes, I did. It was weird, and it was ugly, and it was just
weird.
nothing redeeming about it whatsoever, in my opinion.
But they had a loyal fan following. But I agree, kind of a weird car. A lot of weird features to the car.
And who are the fans?
People who own them.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The couple down the street.
Yeah, they're handicapped, I believe.
Okay.
So that was the end of Saab.
Well, goodbye.
60-year run.
Well, that was about 59 too many.
Oh, and then I know Mike had posted this on our Facebook page. So long to race car champion. Race car team champion owner Don Schumacher passed away this week. A great loss to motorsports.
Yep. I remember back when he got into drag racing on the national scale back in the 70s, and he was that was back in the match racing days, and he was a big player in all of that back then. And and most recently, he dissolved his 9-car team, both the Funny Car and Top Fuel dragsters, and
part of it was picked up by Tony Stewart. part of it. Antron Brown
Yep.
took over part of it.
Yep.
And they still have DSR, I believe, is still building chassis for other people.
A lot of safety innovations. It
Yep.
was. It's a shame,
And
but
then what, Tony's 10-time top fuel champion.
yeah. Right. Okay. I've got a kind of an interesting story here. Sean Western, Director of Marketing for Quick Auto Dealers, read through transcripts of the company ChatGPT-driven customer chats Wednesday. When he saw another bogus sales lead. It followed an onslaught of strange online inquiries that challenged the company's artificial intelligence-driven customer relationship management system in multiple ways. This time, butt farts was the culprit. The user, contacting Quirk Chevrolet in Braintree, Massachusetts, had inquired about a new vehicle, and the CRM chatbot asked for a name and contact information. It did not like the name Butt Farts, replying it couldn't proceed in the face of inappropriate or offensive language. And that is my Christian name. I come from a long line of farts, the user replied, as an even stranger back and forth continued. ChatGPT, a form of generative AI developed by the San Francisco private research laboratory OpenAI, converses like humans and learns from its mistakes. It made an explosive debut in fall 2022, and auto dealers have been gradually testing it with processes both behind the scenes and facing customers. That testing unexpectedly kicked into overdrive from Sunday through Tuesday last week, as legions of users targeted some dealerships' ChatGPT customer systems with questions that went well beyond asking about buying a vehicle.
Pull my finger.
Some tests went viral, with one user trying to get a dealership website to sell him a 2024 Chevy Tahoe for $1. So there you go.
Butt farts.
Butt Farts was the name of the person that was trying to buy the car.
You would have to have parents that were smoking something to name you that.
Exactly. This I thought was very interesting. A Ford dealership in Florida says it's the only place that sells both Michelin tires and food from a Michelin-starred chef. Sarasota Ford last week opened Le Mans Kitchen, an upscale restaurant that's open only to its customers. Matt Buchanan, president, what's happened here?
You went blank.
Oh, well, I can't do that right now. Okay. Sarasota Ford last week opened Le Mans Kitchen, an upscale restaurant that's open only to its customers. Matt Buchanan, president of Buchanan Automotive Group, which owns Sarasota Ford, proposed the idea to Chef Jose Martinez as a way to build loyalty to the dealership, which also has an 11-seat movie theater and a relaxation room with massaging chairs. Martinez owns Maison Blanc, a long-renowned restaurant at Longboat Key, and previously had an award-winning restaurant in Paris.
High-dollar place.
38-seat restaurant named for the 24 Hours of Le Mans race that Ford Motor Company famously won in '66, replaced the dealership's cafe after a 9-month renovation. Not just anyone can get a table there, though. People who own a vehicle from Sarasota Ford can come anytime, and service customers get a voucher to eat there on the day of their visit. Now, there is somebody being innovative and trying to keep their customers, and I think that that's a good way to start. Don't you?
Yep.
Thank you. All right, time now for a quick break. We'll be right back. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is streaming and podcasting. Look for us on your favorite provider.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invite you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
From Christmas Car headquarters in Texas, USA, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, podcasting and streaming around the globe. Just ahead, we'll talk to John Vincent with U.S. News about the best end-of-year's car deals, including 0% financing on some.
All right.
Jeff continues the theme with a look at some slow-selling new cars, and Conrad has a look at the 24 racing season. It's just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad, Christmas DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday for our live show, 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time. And if you're listening on a podcast, welcome, and thank you for downloading us on your phone or streaming device or whatever the heck you're using today.
Whatever the heck.
Whatever the heck. Let's go to our guest next, John Vincent, U.S. News. John, good morning to you and Merry Christmas.
Good morning and Merry Christmas to you guys as well.
How are you?
I am good. I'm not at an auto show this time, though.
Well, that's a rarity. I mean,
I have 3 more on my schedule in the next few weeks.
Of course you do. Yeah, well, I'm glad you got it. Where's home for you?
Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. Well, it's a little bit on the early side for you out there on the West Coast, isn't it?
It is, but to talk to you guys, I'd get up early.
Good.
All right.
And he brushed his teeth, combed his hair, and he's ready to go.
Next time it's going to be 3:30 in the morning.
Okay, maybe not that early.
Yeah, maybe that. Well, you know, those Shanghai shows just really Shanghai everything. Well, John, I was really excited to know that Mr. Mars had scheduled today from U.S. News about end-of-year car deals. And some of them are advertised on television, but most are not, correct?
Most of them are on the manufacturer's websites, and they are limited by where you live and where you buy. But there's some great deals this year.
Limited by state? Is it limited by state or city?
By zip code.
By zip code. Oh, my gosh. They've got it nailed down to that now.
They do.
Interesting. Well, what did you find that's worth noting today?
So last year, we were still kind of on the hangover of car shortages.
Yep.
At the end of this year, we are not. And dealers are giving some great deals. 0% financing has come roaring back. A lot of buyers don't realize that, getting a great price is a great way to save money, but getting a great financing deal can be even better. Because with financing rates 6, 7, 8%, if you're getting 0% financing, you're saving thousands and thousands of dollars.
What
So-
what stands out for you with these 0% deals as far as cars that perhaps may be popular and they're stacking up on dealer lots? What are they?
Well, there's some excellent cars on the list, and they're not all 2023s. 2024 Mazda CX-5, 0% financing for 5 years. The CX-5 continues to be a very high-ranking vehicle in our new car rankings and reviews. We kind of thought that it would have got pushed aside by the CX-50, but the CX-5 keeps going strong. And at 0% financing, it's a fantastic deal.
Yeah, for 5 years, that'd be a great deal.
No kidding. Because, compare that to even like a 5% interest rate. 5 years at 5%?
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, thousands of dollars, like you said.
So is that
A lot of money.
are these 0% deals? Are those factory funded or dealer funded?
They are factory funded.
Okay. So, but you're going to still need a pretty fair credit rating to earn your way to the 0%, as in the past.
Yes. Absolutely. You're going to need top-notch credit to get the best deals.
And how does that work? So let's just say that you've got mediocre credit. Can you get still a deal with, not 7%, maybe 3%? Is that how that works?
Yes. You're not going to get the top-notch deals, but you're going to still be able to get a better deal than market rate.
I got you.
In general.
Okay.
Unless your credit's terrible. In that case, you probably shouldn't be buying a car.
Not a new one anyway, yeah.
What you can do if you have mediocre credit is look for cash back deals that are not reliant on your credit score. And there are some great ones this year, at the end of this year. Nissan Murano, older vehicle in the marketplace, but $4,000 cash back on the Murano makes it a pretty good deal.
And you can either put that cash back, generally speaking, in your pocket, or you can apply it to the down payment if you want to do that.
In general, yeah, you don't get a pile of cash back. It lowers the price of the car.
Got you. Okay. What else in the list?
Hyundai Tucson, 2024 Hyundai Tucson, 0% financing, 5 years. A lease deal, Kia Forte, $209 a month for 2 years.
$209 a month. That's a lease.
24 months.
It's a lease
Wow,
for 24 months.
man. Yeah, that's very inviting.
Well, I'm sure some of that monthly rate's driven by an amount of down payment, but it's also driven by the residual value of the vehicle. So they're betting on a high residual value at the end of the term to push that price. But
the other thing that pushes those lease deals is that the automaker needs those cars to come back in 2 or 3 years, so they have certified pre-owned cars on the lot. So they're taking a little bit of pain now,
Right.
to get those cars back in 2 and 3 years.
Yeah, because from what I understand, that certified pre-owns are a rare commodity these days. If they're not rare, at least they're high priced. I mean,
few and far between.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
and some of that's driven by COVID and the lack of inventory during COVID, so they weren't getting that turnaround car. Years ago, a lot of manufacturers, I'll talk about the big three especially, were dumping cars into rental fleets.
Yep.
So that kind of kept production going. So now with these kind of incentives and stuff, again, that's important to keep production going. And then the side benefit is the CPO availability.
Yeah, they
at
keep
the end
that
of term.
CPO pipeline going.
And you don't see many demos at dealers anymore. You might find one or two on some of the executives, but you don't find salesmen's demos.
Right.
No,
Well, they just didn't have the inventory for the last couple of years.
Exactly.
And I think they realized that they didn't need to do that.
And a high turnover of salespeople.
And a high turnover of salespeople.
Yeah. Give me something good.
In
What else you
general,
got?
Dealer staff, high turnover.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
What? Tell me some more. I'm enthralled.
Okay. Honda Accord, 2024 Honda Accord. A NACTOY semifinalist vehicle, North American Car and Truck of the Year,
Yep.
semifinalist vehicle.
Right.
Probably the best Accord I've ever driven. I've owned a lot of Accords. 2.9 financing for 4 years.
Wow, nice.
Which is great on an Accord.
I've heard good things about Accord from our good friend Jack Nerad raves about the thing, and I have not driven one. There's not been a Honda in any of the press fleet that I am aware of for several years.
Not down here, no.
Yeah, that's good news.
And, it comes with Honda's dependability, too.
Right.
Exactly. Chevrolet Trax, the new 2024 Chevrolet Trax.
Drove one.
Now,
I liked it.
Yep. The old Trax was maybe not the best car.
I agree.
The new Trax is a huge improvement.
Big difference. Yep.
$249 a month on a lease for 2 years. That's a great deal.
That's not bad.
I'll say, yeah, $249 on Chevy Trax. Now, what kind of options are on these? Is it like
these are
intro models?
The lease deals are generally base cars.
Base cars. So you're not going to get all the bells and whistles on it, but chances are that it's going to have a digital display that's decent, and you might, if you want XM radio, you're going to have to pay for it.
Plug your
You'll have
phone
the
in.
safety tech, which is great.
Yep. And it might not have the upscale interior, but even the base interiors are nice these days.
They are.
Yeah.
And the electronics, back to the technology, they've got a certain amount that they're going to put in there no matter what.
Correct.
And the rest of it you can get off your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Plug into CarPlay or Android Auto, and you have a navigation system for nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's a great point to make too, because that's what I use on my 2001 Corvette. And I just plug it in, and it works great.
Yeah.
So what about on the EVs? Do you see them doing some good deals on any of the EVs since inventory is kind of building on those?
Yes. Subaru Solterra, which is the sister car to the Toyota BZ4X, 0% financing for 72 months.
Holy Toledo! You're kidding! Oh my gosh, I had no clue.
72
I
months.
just saw some advertised Ford Mustang Mach-E deals with a combination of low financing rates and cash back on the Mach-E.
Yeah, I heard there's no interest in those as well. It's an old Oldsmobile joke.
He didn't
From an old Oldsmobile guy.
He just there was just a slip of the tongue. Just don't pay any attention to him, John.
Hey, there are some great Oldsmobiles at the end.
There were some great Oldsmobiles, except for the diesel. We didn't like the diesel too much.
Can't remember any of them, but yeah, they're out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw an Aurora on the road the other day and was like, wow, haven't seen one of those in a decade.
Really?
Yeah, for a reason.
Exactly. Hey, John, have you seen anything with the Kias? You got one there behind you on your screen. I was just curious.
Well, we talked about the Forte at $209 a month for 2 years. Kia, generally has some great deals. Just go to their site and, you'll see a lot of stuff. We track deals really closely, and it's interesting to watch the timing of when each manufacturer's deals come out. It's obvious that Kia looks at everybody else's deals every month before they come out with theirs, because they come out about 2 days later.
Really?
And they're very aggressive in getting those deals out.
Yeah, but the old days of inventory tax that the dealers had to pay January 1st, and that drove a lot of the big sales that they were doing, that's kind of gone away. So that urgency to buy before December 31st has kind of waned a little bit. So they've got to find a different way to get customers interested to come in to buy vehicles.
Well, the new incentive for dealers to make excellent deals is bonuses. Year end and quarterly bonuses. They have to hit those numbers, and if they don't hit those numbers, they don't get the inventory next year.
Wow.
So they're aggressive in getting those deals out to move that stuff off the lot in order to make their numbers for the quarter.
That's something that I just never thought of, but it makes total sense. Yeah. When it comes down to selling cars at the dealership, yeah, you got the manufacturers kind of help, but the manufacturers are still going to get their money.
Right.
Yeah. And so the squeeze comes with the dealer. And if he wants to make these bonuses, as you say, really has to
and
work
some of those
at it.
bonuses can be hundreds of thousands of dollars quickly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially with the bigger dealers.
Right.
And,
And like the car behind me on the screen, if they don't hit their numbers this year, Kia might not send them that many EV9s next year.
Yeah, the EV9's the new full EV 3-row
right.
for Kia.
I think the EV9 is going to be the hottest vehicle of 2024.
Really?
Why do you say that?
Because it does
Thermal
everything the Telluride does, but it's an electric.
Yeah, well, the Telluride, I mean, that's a very popular vehicle, and I will say this, it's a very nice vehicle, too. I've had it in the press fleet, and it's nice.
It is.
And, for some reason, well, I know the reason, because, when Kia came to market originally, they had cheap, entry-level cars. And when you think of Kia, at least for me, I don't think of an upscale anything with Kia. This one, the EV9, is. And
the Telluride is, too.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
I think the Telluride's a very upscale.
Yeah, it really, truly is. Don't you agree?
I do. I think that Kia has gotten to where Honda was in half the time it took Honda to get there.
That's a very interesting point, because I actually bought a Honda Accord back at the beginning of the popularity of the little square boxy one back in about 88, 89, somewhere in there, and very popular. And the particular one that I bought it with the cloth interior and had a leather interior put into it, which was an option from the dealer because they had no leather interiors. At the time, it was only on the EX, I think, that you could get the leather interior.
From the factory.
So, they were working it back in the day, and I guess now Kia is as you say.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, anything else of note?
It's for Volkswagen. It's zero down season. Their sign and drive event. The monthly payments are a little higher, but zero money due at signing on most Volkswagen models this month.
And what do they do? Keep that for like 3 months, zero down and no payments for like 3 months or something?
I'm not sure about the 3 months no payments, but it's zero down.
Yeah.
It might be on some models. And zero down leases are actually really good, because one of the problems with making a down payment on a lease is if you wreck the car a week later, that down payment money is gone. You're never seeing it back.
Yikes.
Yeah, unless you bought some kind of gap insurance on it. But
Well, your gap insurance is going to take care of the finance company. It's not going to take care of you.
true.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, so I guess that the best way is if you got a budget and you kind of narrowed it down to 3 or 4 makes and models of cars, the best way to really make your decision before you even go to the dealership is get online and see what the incentive is that they're offering.
Exactly. Look at the incentives. Also, talk to outside lenders and have a finance deal of your own in your pocket before you go to the dealer.
Yeah,
And
but
that way, if you don't qualify for one of the special incentives, you still have a deal that you make the dealer beat in order to get your financing business.
especially like a bank.
Dealers
that you do
want
regular
your
business
financing
with you.
business because that's where they make their money.
Right,
They don't
right,
make
right.
their money
Yeah,
selling
outside
cars.
financing.
so you may not can get the 0%, and they may offer you 5. Well, I can get 3 from my bank or my credit union. Can you beat that or meet it or whatever?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Put your
It
thinking
doesn't
cap
cost
on.
you anything to, get approved at a bank or a credit union.
And
And have that in
and
your
these
pocket.
days you don't even actually have to go to the dealer. You can do it all online before you even get there if you know what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, John. I assume that all this information is available on the U.S. News website.
Yep. Just go to usnews.com and click on the autos tab.
Very good. And you're the man in Portland that's putting it all together, and we appreciate you, sir.
I am part of a big team. I work with a lot of really smart people. So,
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you taking the time on this Christmas weekend to join us and talk about these things. That, boy, I'll tell you what, talk about a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great to offer your family? Well, I've got this little surprise, and let's walk outside.
Yeah, get one of those big bows. No, but we're having the kids over for dinner this evening for Christmas, and there's a couple of them been talking this will be some information to share with them that they might be really interested in.
John Vincent, it's great to talk to you. Again, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate you and look forward to your next report, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity. Talk to you guys soon.
Okay, take
Merry
care.
Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
John Vincent, U.S. News.
Yeah, buddy.
I like it. Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. The In Wheel Time race card. Did you find anything?
Yep.
Rodney said that there's stuff.
Getting started.
Yeah.
You know, just nationally, Roar before the 24, and that's kind of the test session before the 24 Hours of Daytona is January 21st through the 24th, and then the 24 Hours of Daytona is the next weekend, which is January 28th, and then IMSA doesn't come back until Sebring March 17th. NHRA starts March 10th at the Gator Nationals, which is weird because it used to be they always started at Pomona with the winners.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, they go to Pomona for the winners. NASCAR starts February 4th with the Busch Clash at the LA Coliseum. Excuse me while I yawn.
It's still the Busch Clash.
Yeah, what a stupid show. But anyhow, and then they go the Daytona 24, the twin qualifiers is the 15th. Daytona 24 Hours is the 18th of February. And then they go to Atlanta on the 25th, Las Vegas on March 3rd, Phoenix on March 10th. So then, and
Is
then
Cadillac still doing IMSA?
Cadillac is still doing IMSA. Corvette's not doing IMSA as a factory
Unless it's a privateer.
but they'll be doing privateer cars, yeah. And then Circuit of the Americas, NASCAR comes to COTA on March 24th. Should be a good event to go to.
Yep.
Formula One starts in March 3rd at the Bahrain. Yes,
man.
you can.
I wonder if Las Vegas will ever recover from that nightmare.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure they had a contract for X number of years.
No, I know,
do it.
but I'm just talking about the one that just happened.
Yeah.
And it took them a whole month. They were
They're still
predicting
taking that
to
stuff
taking the
apart.
stuff down.
Now,
Stupid.
Bahrain, there's some investors in Bahrain that are making offers to buy McLaren
Oh, okay.
Formula One.
Well, I'm surprised Andretti hasn't made some offers to buy somebody.
Well,
that's
they're
already
still,
existing.
he's getting closer and closer to getting that deal because Toto Wolff, the guru of Mercedes, is not a well-liked person. They are all after
Too bad the
getting
Wicked
rid of him.
Witch didn't just keep him then.
Well-
Toto and the little.
Well, his
her on the
wife
bicycle.
Susie Toto is being sued, and her
Susie Toto?
Susie Toto, which she's well, actually Toto Wolff is his name. Susie Wolff is his wife, who has been sharing confidential information with him. So she's the big bad wolf, is what it is.
Oh, okay. So, and then
Went there for about that was
IndyCar starts March 10th at St. Petersburg. But the racing season's getting ready to start.
Well,
It's
I was just
be
going to add
exciting.
to all of that and the fact that, we were talking earlier about Christmas gifts and think about buying tickets to, say, for instance, Daytona.
Oh, yeah.
Or the Indy 500. Here are a couple of tickets to the Indy 500. We'll worry about getting there later. We can drive whatever. We'll make it a bit
Yeah,
out
if you
of
get
it.
the ticket.
use your
Yep.
seats.
There you see.
You even get tickets to COTA. If you want something nearby, because that's only March 24th.
Yep.
Circuit of the Americas, and that is a good, fun track to watch.
Well, Jeff has a very interesting feature here on slow-selling new cars.
Slow-selling new cars.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's get going on that. So what we have, these are the top 5 lot lizards is what I'm calling them. The first one here is a BMW X7. It sits 110 days on the lot.
Yikes.
The X7 is BMW's flagship 3-row SUV and is certainly deserving of that title, powered by a 375 horsepower turbocharged inline-6 or a 523 horsepower twin turbo V8. The X7 has ample passing power no matter which engine you choose. It's a standard air suspension with adaptive dampers, delivers a buttery smooth ride, even on models with 21-inch wheels. So,
But it's still a BMW.
110 days sitting on the lot.
How much is one of those?
didn't look into that.
Probably close to 100,000.
Over
100,000.
100,000.
Here's an Audi A4. Anybody want to guess how long it sits on a lot? Well, I'll tell you, it's 115 days.
Yikes.
It's getting long in the tooth. The Audi 4 is still one of the best compact luxury sedans on the market, with its sharp cabin design, high-end finishes, and easy-to-use tech features. Michael, the A4 leaves a positive impression on just about all who step in it like it. It's a very nice drive, combining a comfortable ride.
We never get
with
Audis in the press fleet.
balanced driving dynamics. Yep.
Rochelle's owned 2 A4s, and she loved both of them. One of them had horrific engine problems. The other one had horrific CVT transmission problems.
This is a blend of luxury and sportiness. It makes the A4 a top pick in small luxury vehicles, but the consumers don't feel quite that way, sitting 115 days on a lot. The next one we have is an American brand. It is a Buick Encore GX. How many days? 120 days on the lot. The Buick Encore GX positions itself as a semi-premium. I don't know what that means. A semi-premium.
Well, we call it near luxury.
Small crossover SUV.
I want to
no
be a
luxury
Cadillac.
car. It's a teensy-weensy step up from the comparable offerings of a Honda, Toyota, or a Kia. You likely won't be impressed with its lazy 3-cylinder engine options or less than premium material quality, but drivers, they like to commute and should appreciate comfortable ride and unexpected quiet cabin.
Yeah, let me
Considered an
introduce you to my
Encore
4-year-old
GX, we recommend opting for the larger turbocharged vehicle, not the 1.3. So the next one is also a General Motors product. It is the GMC Yukon. How many days? 127 days on the lot. The GMC Yukon, a slightly upgraded twin of the Chevrolet Tahoe, like its Chevy kin.
Spit it out.
Yeah, the 3-row Yukon powertrain lineup includes a pair of V8 engines, turbocharged diesel straight 6. If you have a large family or a regular need to transport a half a dozen people, you'll find the Yukon offers plenty of space for passengers and cargo. And the winner of the lot lizards is a BMW iX. Michael, it's 131 days on the lot.
It's almost half the year.
Look past this buck-toothed front end of the BMW iX is
Buck-
a well-executed battery electric SUV that checks a lot of the boxes for consumer shopping in this space.
But you can't drive it.
It
back and
offers a
forth to
respectable
Beaumont.
driving range, impressive standard and available tech, a spacious, well-appointed interior, relatively thrilling driving experience. The iX is surprisingly nimble for its size and it rides exceptionally well. So there you go. That baby's 131 days on the lot.
I will never forget working at Richardson Chevrolet. There were a handful of cars, always, every year. Of course, I worked there for, 3 years? There were always a handful of cars that they could not sell. They couldn't even do dealer trades with them because nobody wanted it.
The combination of color and content, that happens.
It was, and the one that I remember is the Biscayne, the white Biscayne with the red interior.
Oh, yeah.
With the waffle seat covers.
Yep, the waffles.
But you know, it's a gem right now. You find that it would be
not
a gem.
not this 4-door 6-cylinder that the battery always went dead in. And guess who had to change
I was
it?
going to say, the battery
Me.
went dead because it was 4 years old.
And it was sitting on the lot. It never moved. The tires had flat spots on them. This is a brand new car with no miles. Nobody wanted it. You kind of felt sorry for it sitting out there, but I guess somebody did. The dealer took it in as a dealer trade, going, yeah, I might be able to pawn that off on some refinery out here
Put a
in
nice
Baytown.
spiff on it.
Yeah, as a company car.
The beige with the green interior.
Oh, dude. Well, thank you very much for that. That was informative. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream on our 3-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. And like pancakes, the podcasts are hot and at your fingertips from your favorite podcast outlet.
Is it gooey?
They're cooked. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The original group of Lupe Tortilla Restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupe Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupe Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupe Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupe Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupe's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupe Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupe Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
Podcasting and streaming worldwide. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, Nick Miles, noted auto journalist, talks about Operation Frodo, a feel-good Christmas story about cars and dogs.
All right.
Conrad's going to have the In Wheel Time Car Clinic, and we'll have this week's Auto News Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. Christmas King Conrad DeLong.
Oh, boy.
We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Christmas weekend. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us. And if you're not listening to our live show on Saturday from 8 to 11 a.m., we invite you to do that. If you're listening on a podcast, thanks for doing that. We appreciate it. We have made some great strides in podcasting for the last year, and numbers came in, and we were all going, what?
Really?
What? Weren't you, Mars?
Yes.
75 countries worldwide.
Better start paying attention.
Banned in Russia.
Banned in Russia.
Banned in Russia.
Gummit.
Yeah. Well,
Broke my heart.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry for them.
Yeah.
They need some.
Communists.
Who do they think they are?
damn commies.
Keep sending your vodka, though. That's good.
Yeah. More vodka.
Yeah, I don't
No, I
drink
get
Russian.
vodka from Tito's. That handle we went through last night.
Did
that
you
was
go through
from-
the whole thing?
Yeah, that was from Austin. That was Tito's from
He had a
Austin.
death grip on it.
Yeah, give me
Yeah,
that.
we went through the whole thing last night.
All right. Nick Miles is with Operation Frodo. And let me bring in Nick. Nick, good morning to you.
Good morning, team.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So instead of me messing this up, I'm going to let you explain in a simple, understandable way what Operation Frodo is.
Oh, all the weight's on my shoulders. I get how you work.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm going to shovel it off on you. But it's a dog and car kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So just before the pandemic, with my partner, Mike Cordell, we formed a charity called Animal Rescue Rigs because, we do cars, right? We do cars real well. And there are people in the world that need cars to do their jobs. And one of those organizations is the animal rescue organizations around the country, all the way from Florida up to Seattle. They need to transport animals. And so we thought, let's use our connections in the car industry and make some rescue vehicles. And instead of them using the money that they raise to rescue animals, we would find the money and then donate the vehicles. So all the money they raised ended up helping rescue animals. So they weren't spending the money on the vehicles. And our first vehicle, we found a need in the Midwest in Omaha, Nebraska. They desperately needed a vehicle. And so we had a vehicle we'd made. It was a 2018 Nissan Titan donated to us by the Nissan car company. We decked it out. We'd Linexed the exterior. We'd put a boat on the top. We'd done a whole bunch of stuff to it. And because it was so big and so expensive to ship, I decided to drive it across the country because there was a dog there called Frodo that I wanted. And suddenly, auto journalists found out about this. And before I knew it, I had a team of people who wanted to drive this truck out. And so we drove it out 1,650 miles to Omaha, Nebraska, dropped the vehicle off. Jim Morrison, the head of Jeep, donated a Jeep Wagoneer, Grand Wagoneer L for us to bring dogs back. It started with just Frodo. We ended up bringing 4 dogs in total back. That was all in 2022. But the trip back was pretty treacherous, guys. And unfortunately, people lost their lives on that route. It was minus 70 in Wyoming. It took us about 3 extra days to make it back. And it made national news. And so this year, everybody was saying to us, are you going to do it again? Are you going to do it again? And a lot of people ask, why Omaha, Nebraska, going to the West Coast? Well, there is a glut of beagles in Omaha. At the end of the hunting season, hunters just dump them in the woods. There's all the testing facilities that use beagles for testing, and they're always closing down puppy mills. And so there's a huge glut of beagles there, and there wasn't any on the West Coast. So we did it again this year, and this year it started with just 8 dogs. It suddenly got to 10, and then the night before it got to 12. And so there was 4 vehicles with about 20 journalists and 50 total volunteers. And we drove these vehicles all the way across the country. We ended up doing 1,995 miles.
Jeez.
12 dogs ended up in their forever homes. And there's a lot of tears, a lot of journalists, and donations from Ford and Infiniti and Subaru and Nissan and Hyundai, and the list goes on and on. Drive Shop, all these guys. Toyota sent their new Tacoma rubber trucks for all the dogs to chew toys for them to play with. So there was, buckets of love, buckets of fun, and a lot of fast food and a lot of empty cans of soda. But we finally made it, and it was 34 hours of driving.
Wow, what a trip. What an idea, and what a great thing. We have the studio dog here, Susie, and Susie came with her name. She is a rescue dog. She is now 11 years old, and
wow.
She's very important to me, but I'm a big rescue kind of guy, and Susie is a purebred beagle. I found that out after a little DNA testing, and so you can imagine she likes to sleep a lot, and she's my girlfriend, and she's getting old, all white faced now, and she's got a little limp. We think she's got some serious arthritis going on, but she's been my partner for 11 years, and she's in the studio with us today.
She's here right now.
I could hear some tinkling going on in your studio there, and apparently you've got 1 or 2 in there with you.
I actually have 6.
6.
Yeah,
we got 4.
I'm a multiple failed foster parent, so I go to foster these dogs and they stay forever. So we have 2 labs and a German Shepherd as family dogs, and then 3 beagles as rescues. And these guys, you'll probably understand this. I like to call beagles Tasmanian devils. because in the daytime they're absolutely crazy. They race everywhere. They, if you're missing a beagle, just look at a trash can and you'll see a little white tail poking out.
Yep.
And they're just a lot of fun. At nighttime, they become teddy bears. They just curl up with you. They want to go to sleep. I always have plenty of people trying to climb into bed with me. To me, they are the absolute perfect pet. The only thing with beagles that I wish would be different is that you could let them off leash. But boy, those guys get a smell and they're gone. They get a sniff of something and they're gone as soon as they smell anything.
It sounds like
the whole group of them.
Sounds like
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
There's always one leader of the band, and that starts it, and then they all chime in. And there's a lot of howls, but there's so much fun. And they're such loving dogs, and I don't know what I'd do without mine. I have a weakness for beagles, and I don't know, I've had one for a long, long time. This Susie will be the third, and we kept them until they couldn't walk anymore. So obviously, that's how wonderful and sweet they are. But I will tell you this: when I have people come over, they're going, "Why is your garbage can on top of the pantry?" And I said, well, there's a story to that. We had a can, one of those silver trash cans that had the foot press and you opens the lid. That tumped that over, got in there several times, and we got to do something else. So we pulled the liner out and put it up on top of the pantry cabinet, and that's where it still stays
to this day.
Yep. But
the funny thing about our story is the reason I wanted Frodo really badly when I saw him. Between my parents and I, we already had 4 hobbits. We had Pippin, Meriadoc, Samwise, and Bilbo. And when you see a dog called Frodo who looks exactly like a dog that you lost a couple years before, you go, it's got to be. It's fate. It has to be something you have to do. And so that was originally why we decided we had to go get this dog.
And you have a thing for Lord of the Rings.
Well, I'm a little bit of a geek, but aren't we all? We don't like to admit it, whether it's cars or movies or whatever. We all have geekness in us.
So where are you located?
So I actually live on Delta Airlines. Now that's just my joke for everyone because I travel for work doing TV around the country. But I live in Portland, Oregon, and every time I used to go to the local rescues, there's never any beagles. And I don't know if you remember that big puppy mill that they closed down on the Midwest about 2 years ago. And I think there was 800 beagles that got dispersed around the country. Every time I tried to see if I could help and adopt one, they were always gone. So there is no real beagle, apart from breeders, there's no real rescue beagles on the West Coast. Seattle, Portland, Sacramento, San Francisco, LA, San Diego, up and down the West Coast, there's just a shortage. So why not move the dogs where people want to adopt them?
Absolutely. And what I find interesting is that, boy, the manufacturers jumped on board that, all over that. Yeah. Are you hoping to expand that? I mean, we might be able to help in that regard down here in Texas. I'm kind of volunteering you, Mars.
I know you're looking at me while you're doing this volunteering thing here.
I am, but that kind of speaks volumes to us down here.
Right.
And we wouldn't have a problem doing that, I don't think.
Yeah, we're talking about next year is finding out what the last thing that we want to do is move dogs to where there's already too many of this sort of kind of dog.
Sure.
People are very particular, and they say, well, why can't we adopt from the local shelters? Well, everyone has different circumstances. Every single one of you guys would probably have a different breed of dog because that's what suits you, whether you have land or whether you have a small apartment in the city, whatever you have to have the right dog for you. Otherwise, guess what? It ends up back in the shelter. And so what we're doing is taking dogs to places where there isn't any. Oh, there we go. Taking dogs to places where there isn't the right kind of dog for the right kind of people. And beagles are a favored pet in the Northwest. It's just that they get lapped up from the shelters real quick. If you need, and there's a need for a local rescue anywhere in Texas that is looking for beagles, we'd be more than happy to ship them out of the Midwest. There are so many. They're getting 230 requests every month from this little rescue that works in 5 states in the heartland states to rehouse dogs. And they just can't cope because they don't have a physical shelter. They put them up in their homes. So that means people have 5-6 dogs in their homes. So we're trying to move them out. And at the end of the year, it's real tough, guys, because what happens is in Missouri, it's completely legal just to dump your dogs in a field at the end of the hunting season. So there's all these dogs that are running around, get pregnant because they're not spayed or neutered. Then you end up with another 5 or 6 dogs there. So the situation is out of control. And if you're a Missouri resident, I would just say, please email your governor and say, make this stop, because right now 49 states are taking the brunt of what Missouri is doing and just having these dogs dumped in the woods.
Kind of like having an open border in Texas. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that? I didn't. It just kind of slipped right out. But I will say this, that we do have a Beagle Rescue Group here in Houston, but I will also say that there are times that they are short on Beagles. It's an interesting breed because everybody seems to love those long-eared dogs. And what can I say? I can totally empathize. I understand it all. Yeah.
I think a lot of people get them and they think, oh, it's such a cute teddy bear type dog. And they come home and their couch is in pieces, or the carpet's been pulled up, or the trash can's spread around the floor.
Yep.
And they just can't deal with it. And they're hounds. They love being in packs. They love to hunt. They love to sort of root into little holes. I have Galadriel, who is named after the princess in Lord of the Rings. She is the other dog that I got from that same trip last year. We have rats under our big shed in the back, and she will sit looking at a hole for 4 or 5 hours to try and see if something pokes its head out. So they are absolute hunting dogs, and you just have to know that when you're getting one, you have to understand what you're getting. These dogs are driven by small furry things, and they love to chase them.
Yeah, well, how fun, don't we all?
Yeah.
there is that. So what can we do here at the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show to kind of get involved here?
Well, listen, guys, take on Texas. Challenge people in Texas to go to animalrescuerigs.com and donate money, because what we're trying to do is build another rescue vehicle so we can donate it to a rescue that is in desperate need of shifting dogs around. One of the things that a lot of people don't think about, and I have a truck that may be coming up for donation, especially when there's tornadoes or hurricanes or bad weather. A lot of these places need a big off-road truck that can tow to put on a horse trailer, because horses desperately need moving out of areas. They get injured, they're in fields, they have to go into protected areas. During hurricanes, we had so many calls from Texas to help us with horse towing vehicles. So we're trying to build as many of these vehicles as we can to let these rescues use them in cases of emergencies. Plus, Sprinter vans, Dodge vans, anything that we can get our hands on, we're going to convert into hauling for dogs, for any pets that get left out in the wild from fires, from floods, whatever it might be. You guys have had your fair share of disasters in Texas. Let's get them the equipment they need, so the money that they're raising to rescue animals isn't going on buying vehicles. We'll do that for them.
Very interesting. Well, how can we have a website?
Yes, animalrescuerigs.com is the website, animalrescuerigs.com, and Rigs is R-I-G-S, and it has the whole story up there. It has the story of all the animals that need help. It has the story of the rescue rig that we built. You can go see videos. You can go see why we need to exist, because when I give money to a rescue, I want that money to go to helping an animal, not to buying a vehicle.
There you go. Well, Nick, what a great thing you got going on there, and it's such a pleasure to get in touch with you and learn all about Operation Frodo. And we hope that you'll stay in touch with us and keep us updated.
And we hope that some of the In Wheel Time listeners would feel that and make those donations.
Absolutely. Make yourself known if you're a rescue, or you need a vehicle, or that you have some way of helping us create a vehicle. And it doesn't have to be new. we'll take anything as long as it has some life in it, and make use of it at a rescue. Even minivans, which we're finding what the preferred transport is, they transport up to 17 dogs in crates in these minivans.
Wow.
And sometimes they're driving 4 or 5 days to get them out of the South and the Southwest up into states that'll take these dogs.
Okay. Well, we're going to do our best to help you out, Nick. It's great to talk to you. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you and your family and all the dogs and all the good stuff that you do for the dog rescue. We really appreciate it. And again, stay in touch with us and let us know how things go and what we can do to help you.
We appreciate the In Wheel Time team. Thank you for making time for our little furry four-legged friends.
Well, we're very thankful.
Perfect.
All right, take care of yourself, and we'll talk again soon. Nick Miles with Operation Frodo. All right, time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. What is in the clinic today?
Well, this is the final version of the Shelby conversation.
Oh, yeah.
We started out originally talking about the muscle car people, and Shelby being one of them, Mr. Norm being one of them, and then Shelby doing the AC Cobra, and then his history with Ford and the Mustangs and such. And then when Lee Iacocca went to Chrysler, Shelby started building Chrysler products we talked about last year. Well, at the end of the production run, Shelby built one called the Shelby Series 1, and it was the only truly ground-up Shelby car that was ever made. The AC Cobra started as an AC, and then they put big motors in them and stuff. Well, the Series 1 was, they had planned originally to build 500 cars. They only built 249, and it came from a relationship between Carroll Shelby and John Rock, who at the time was the head of Oldsmobile division. John Rock had come to Oldsmobile from GMC Truck, and he was building the Cyclone and Typhoon over there at GMC Truck. So he came to Oldsmobile, and they built a two-door Roadster, basically a roofless car, and it had the Oldsmobile V8 in it. That was the engine of choice, and it put out 320 horsepower. They had an upgraded one for 350, and they actually built a supercharged. They built 11 supercharged versions of it with 540 horsepower, which kind of amazes me that they got that much power out of that. Now, they all came in basically silver with different colored stripes on them. Now, since people have changed the colors of them, you can buy different colors, but they all came with they were all silver with various stripes. It was a bit of a parts bin car from General Motors. So it had the Oldsmobile Aurora V8 in it. It had the ZF manual transaxle from a C5 Corvette was put into it. Shelby built his own chassis, and it was an aluminum chassis with a carbon fiber body. Now, this is back in '99. Pretty high tech for the day, the contents of the car. And the Series 1 had dual wishbone suspension with coil-over remote reservoirs on levers, so these weren't shocks that were attached to the control arms and then moved up and down. They worked through some levers and stuff, which again was pretty high-tech suspension for its day. The transmission was specifically modified for Shelby, and the chassis was made from extruded 6061 aluminum. It came with the creature comforts you expect of a performance luxury car: power steering, four-wheel disc brakes, factory air conditioning, power windows, AM/FM CD audio system. Goodyear made tires specifically for this car that were actually based on IMSA Racing rain tires that they used. And they were all manual transmission cars. Performance figures for this: 0 to 60 times in about 4.5 seconds, quarter mile times in about 12.8 seconds, top speed of about 170 miles an hour. The car weighed about 2,600 pounds. And again, the Series 1 was the only car designed, engineered, and built by Carroll Shelby from the ground up, but again using parts bin pieces from General Motors as far as engine, air conditioning systems, and such. Pretty rare car to see. I actually had a chance to take one of these to a cruise-in one time. George de Montrond had one, and at the time it was still running, and they were kind enough to loan it to me, and I took it on a Galveston cruise. We drove all the way down to Galveston, and, it drew a crowd because people rarely saw that car on the street. But, pretty fun little car, but again, that has retained its value, the Shelby value, that the Chryslers haven't yet.
All right.
And that's kind of my story of Shelby.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Top 10 stories of 2023 is composed by Auto News. Number 10, Hyundai Amazon deal. Hyundai's partnership with Amazon to sell new vehicles through its website was a major development of the evolution of auto retail. Whether the deal represents progress or a problem for dealers, if it inspires other automakers to follow suit, remains to be seen. Number 9, industry adopts Tesla EV charging standard. That was a big story this year. That fell into the number 9 slot. Number 10, Fain wins UAW presidency. Campaigning as a reformer after the union's demanding corruption scandal, Fain narrowly ousted incumbent Ray Curry in a runoff to win UAW's first ever direct election of leadership.
A corrupt union? No, never heard of that.
Number 7, Lithia is number 1, topped AutoNation to become the largest dealership group based in the U.S. on this year's Automotive News list.
That's a big jump.
Number 6, the inventory rebound with the microchip shortage that began in 2021 easing significantly. Inventory bounced back to a nearly 3-year high. U.S. vehicle sales surged 14% in the first 9 months of this year. Number 5, UAW ripple effect. Workers of the Detroit 3 ratified their new contracts. Toyota, Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, Tesla, and other non-union automakers quickly gave their own manufacturing employees sizable raises. Number 4, the Cruise crisis. Cruise's permits to operate autonomous vehicles were suspended in California after a pedestrian was injured in San Francisco. The GM subsidiary was forced to dramatically backtrack on its ambitious expansion plans, and CEO Kyle Vaught resigned. That's ugly.
It's the wrong CEO.
EV tax credits. Federal incentives encouraging localized sourcing for EVs had automakers scrambling to set up a compliant supply chain. Dealers feared chaos as the IRS set up a system to apply credits at the time of sale, and foreign entity of concern sourcing rules threatened to slash the number of vehicles eligible. Number 2, EV pullback. Demands for EVs continue to decline, but at a slower pace than many automakers had expected. That prompted GM, Ford, and others to postpone or scale back investments in anticipation of a more gradual transition to an electric future.
Wow.
And the number 1 story, the UAW strike. Union called for its first ever simultaneous strike against the Detroit 3, demanding record contracts amid the automaker's huge profits in recent years. But instead of calling everyone onto picket lines at once, the president, Fain, targeted only certain plants, threatening to escalate the work stoppages whenever negotiations got bogged down. He eventually shut down production at each of the company's most profitable plants before reaching deals that ended the strike after about 6 weeks at a cost of roughly $3 billion in lost production.
Wow.
We've got something very special for you as we close out our show today. We invite you to stay tuned for that here on the In Real Time Car Talk Show.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk.
Now a special Christmas goodbye from all of us here at In Wheel Time.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and out in the garage, there wasn't a trace of a Ford or a Dodge. The presents were wrapped and the lights were all lit, so I figured I'd mess with the Chevy a bit. I popped the release and I lifted the hood when a deep voice from behind me said, "Looks pretty good." Well, as you can imagine, I turned mighty quick, and there by the workbench stood good old St. Nick. We stood there a bit, not sure what to say. Then he spoke up. "Want to trade for my sleigh?" I said, "No way, Santa," and started to grin. "But if you've got the time, we could go for a spin." His little round mouth, all tied up like a bow, turned into a smile, and he said, "All right, let's go." So as to not disturb all the neighbors' retreat, we pushed the Chevy on down to the street. Then, taking our places to coast down the hill, I started my baby. It was always a thrill. The sound that erupted took him by surprise, but he liked it a lot by the look in his eyes. With tires a-crying and headers aglow, we headed on out where the hot rodders go. And Santa's grin widened, approaching his ears, with every shift up as I went through the gears. Then he yelled, "I can't recall when I felt so alive." So I backed off the gas and said, "You want to drive?" Old Santa was stunned when I gave him the keys. When he walked past the headlights, he shook at the knees. The small block erupted with that American sound. When Santa stomped the gas, the tires shook the ground, chirped into second and again into third. I just sat there holding on at a loss for words. Then I heard him exclaim as he blasted from sight, "Merry Christmas to all! It's been one heck of a night." From Mike, Conrad, Jeff, and David, I'm Don Armstrong. Have a wonderful Christmas, and we'll see you for our New Year's show next Saturday, 8 to 11. So long for now.